Hello.
What up?
Hi.
Hey. We're back.
Ooh.
We back again.
We're
Back
back.
again.
It's Wednesday. You know what that means. That's what the kids say. So I'm gonna say that. We're back with fan club. I was so excited about this show. And
Mm-hmm.
also just everyone joining us. Welcome back to fan club because we're talking about I think one of the most important things, maybe not the most important, but it's a very important aspect to wrestlers, particularly in WWE, but also it adds to what we love about it. Like music is so special in general, but a wrestler's theme song brings you back to your childhood. It brings you back to that moment. It brings you back to that place you associated with your favorite wrestler. Some wrestlers are made on their fucking theme song. So people listen to it in their spare time. Like I tweeted about a workout playlist and like a lot of people were sending me like wrestling songs. And I was like, wait, I didn't even know people listen to wrestling songs like in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the impression. Hey Dre, that wrestling theme songs leave on people. So I'm excited that in our weekly wrestling fan club that we are talking about wrestling theme songs. We'll talk about our favorite ones. We'll talk about the most memorable ones. I think at some point this will turn into a Jim Johnston. That's his name, right?
Yep. Jim
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Johnston.
yes, it'll become an appreciation night for him at some point, I'm sure, because I don't think any era of wrestling themes has touched the icon status of what he did in the Attitude Era for us. Hey Dylan. Hey Krista. Family in the building. Family in the building. Yeah, I love everyone that's joining us. I'm just waiting for my girl Rakarsha as always. But how is my
Hello.
crew doing? Y'all good?
It's been a day, but you know what? We here.
We
We
here.
what Justin say?
We here, we outside, we here, we outside, and it's normally like a nice little solitude pole, and then he points to the camera like that. That's how I feel today.
That
We
yo,
here, we outside. Our boss tried to test us, we didn't let that happen. That's how I feel.
when I read "We Outside," I read it in Justin's voice.
Yep.
Like no matter what the like
Context is.
I'm like, yeah, somewhere that's what we need to be.
Y'all know
Is
me so well.
Of
Yeah.
course, of
yeah,
course.
definitely been a day for
Mhm.
sure. Hey, Mike.
Mike, look at Mike.
Oh man. Okay, but my 9 to 5 buddy ain't even tell me what's up. Like, Mike, I hope your day got better. And that's why the fan club is fun. Cause it's where you
Mm-hmm.
leave all your like baggage and negative shit at the door, and then you just come into the fan club and you talk about what makes all of us happy, which is wrestling.
Dance
So
out
before we
and
get
away.
into wrestling theme songs,
Oh,
would you
here we
say,
go.
Brian?
Now I was about to start singing a Be More Club mix, but I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, no. No, like I don't know
Dance
what
my
like be
pain
more they
away.
y'all
I
have
knew,
club
I already knew what
themes.
you was talking about. Why I know what you was
You
talking
knew it, don't you?
I do. That's why I was like, I was ready to
I
dance.
got
I was ready.
problems. Dance my pain away. I
Yo, you don't
got
understand.
problems.
For some reason, Jersey Club,
Oh,
B
I've
More
been
Club
oh.
are like
singing
brother
this
and
shit. I'm like,
sister.
oh wait, I know
So
this.
yes,
See,
because
look at
Jersey Club
that.
and B More
Oh
Club are like
man.
brother and sister. So whatever
See?
Brian knows, I'm gonna know automatically. Because
Yeah,
like
because
sprinkle,
Mm.
sprinkle, you start
hmm
just start the memories.
I'm glad
I
you
miss,
went in
I miss
and
high
went.
school. I
yeah,
miss
shout
skating.
Oh look, Marilyn. So
Wow, P.
I don't okay,
I,
all right. I'm not
I got
choosing
on Be
violence
More
We
Club
just
mix.
early
got
in
to
the
the
fan
5 minute
club.
mark. Really? We're gonna do this
I
now?
know I'm not.
It's music, so I ain't trying to get kicked out of the club because I've been waiting for this episode
I
for
really
For a
have.
months.
minute.
So let me get into what the real Dwayne Allen would say, the logistics. And
Hello.
we'll get into everything else. Hey Black Thoughts. So speaking of choosing violence, be on your best behavior tonight in the club, okay? Because you be on one sometimes. So I am very excited. So this past Saturday, Krista B and I, shout out to her, I love her so much. We started this new phase of the show where we recorded our podcast live on Twitch, which was very nerve-wracking, but I think it ended up being really, really fun, especially because we talked about one of my favorites and someone I feel is underrated and who is transitioning into a new phase in her life. So it was a perfect time to talk about Carmela. So if you haven't already, please check out our Carmela Spotlight. It is on YouTube, podcast platforms. You can also still watch it on Twitch. And we talked about everything from her NXT days to her actually being from a wrestling family per se. Her father was a WWF wrestler at one point, and she went from that to NXT to the last draft pick to Mela is Money. So we go into all of it up into her career now, and I am probably the most proud of this episode just because of how well it was done and just the fact that we've evolved and being able to take advantage of the fact that we're Twitch affiliates and having everyone be a part of our episodes. Like, that was awesome. Like, it, I really love that. So we're going to continue that. Our next live episode is May 27th. We actually don't know who we're going to do that episode on. So if you guys have any ideas, if you want us to spotlight, let us know. Krista B wants to do a underrated legend from the past. So if there's anyone that you think we should do, I was thinking Sable because Krista B has always vouched for Sable being a legend. And I think maybe it's time.
I mean, y'all have been circling that one for a minute, so it's time to kind of land that plane. You know what I'm saying?
I think so too. Krista B, what do you think? Should our next episode be about Sable? Oh, we did do Sable. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. No, did we do Sable? We didn't do Sable.
That was this year.
It was.
It was last year because we got the
Sable.
callbacks.
Oh, right, because we said it was.
Did y'all do Tori Wilson?
But we should do Tori Wilson. We should definitely do Tori Wilson. I think we should also do Deborah. Like, I think like those managers. I know we have so many episodes. Like, seriously, like we really truly do.
I'm gonna mark out because Blazers, Deborah and the Blazers. Yeah, and we know who's the queen of Blazers.
Okay, let us know who we should do, because I'm excited to go back in the past and give more flowers to people that deserve it. So this week we are dropping some Patreon content. I don't know if you guys seen, we dropped our Jake interview, Golden Era host, probably one of the most famous Bella twins or Garcia twins fan. We just dropped that. Krista B dropped a sound off episode that you should definitely do. We do have an Alicia Fox episode. It's actually our most viewed and most popular episode. So Miss Elizabeth, that's who I wanted to say on the show, not Sable. It was Miss Elizabeth. Yes, thank you, Black Thoughts. We should definitely do Miss Elizabeth. Also, the fashion, like alone, Miss Elizabeth's fashion alone, I think is who we should do. All right, so we have Thirsty Thursday tomorrow. Our special guest we have to reschedule will be Phil from Grapsody, Fightful, Bell to Bells, Diva Dirt. He's literally everywhere, so we're really excited to have him. We also will have some special guests, as always. Maybe Seindole can join us as a special guest as well. We shall see. But I'm really excited. I will be hydrating for Thirsty Thursday personally.
So, update, I am currently drinking smoothies so that I can refrain from drinking from the hard day that I have. So, yes, you will be seeing me return tomorrow to Thirsty Thursday.
We do have everyone covered.
Wait till you have fun. And then I convinced some people to join in the chat. So, it's going to be a ball. It's going to be a ball. Can't wait till tomorrow.
And Krista B wasn't going to be able to be there last week. So it's good that this week she'll be able to be there, and we will definitely turn up and have a lot of fun. And that streams everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. We don't have a Kelly episode, I don't think, so we might be able to do that one.
I can't wait to talk about her theme song, though.
So underrated.
I know.
I can't wait to talk about her theme song. Every time you heard the holla,
Hello.
I think of her. I think of Missy Elliott. So we're gonna get into that.
Okay. So how about we take a little break, and we'll have everyone in the comments that's watching us in the fan club let us know what your favorite wrestling theme song is of all time, and we will get into it.
See when you get back.
And she made history carrying this briefcase.
She did. And I like the fact that she kept teasing.
Yes.
Opportunity came up.
So fucking good and
she kept teasing. She kept like, am I going to? Or she'll run to the ring and be like, no.
That was so good. So she held it for I think 284 days, which is the longest that anyone has. 287 days. That was the longest a woman has held it. And this is why I always say I think heels should carry the briefcase or Uber baby faces, because she was able to tease us every week and it made us hate her more.
That was a good episode.
It was.
I watched that live too.
Same.
It's fun. And thank you guys. I love you guys because I didn't realize how many episodes that we've done. And so I love that we've covered and given flowers to most of the women that deserve them. So, Victoria, Krista B, let me know what you think about. We didn't do Victoria.
Y'all need to do Victoria. Like I will be live in the comments going off your do Victoria because I know how I feel about her.
Mr. Perry, like that's his favorite wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Interviewed him.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, Victoria's his favorite
and
wrestler.
she also has a dope theme song. So I think we should just get into it.
Yes.
Okay, Krista B gave me sound off. We're doing sound off. We're doing Victoria.
All right.
And we'll do Queen Charmel as well. So, theme songs.
Paper scissors. Karsha has joined the club. We can get started.
Karsha. Now the show really started. Y'all know that, right? The show has now officially.
Yes. We was waiting for you, girl.
Again, congratulations to you for graduating from
Oh
culinary.
yeah,
Hey Corey.
Hit the bell. Hit the
Corey?
Hey Corey. All right. So
Corey in the house.
What's your favorite wrestling theme song, Corey? So what's one of
you already know what
Karsha.
his is.
I know
the
I got no
answer
is.
I mean, you know the song.
He sang it
you
last
can't
year.
help
It was
but
great.
sing along, and
was
I
great.
feel like that makes a good theme song. Like, what makes a good wrestling theme song?
I think I know.
You said it though. It's something you have to sing. Shout out to my good friend Blake, aka Blizz, who did Mia Yim's theme song at Jobber Slam last year. Him and shout out to him and the homie Tehran. Excuse me, Sir Tizzy. He always said like it's got to be something that you can sing, something that you can go back and forth, but also even for the most part you kind of want to like bop to it or have like a nice cool walk. Like you look at like Roman, you know what I mean? So that's the thing I think about theme songs. Something that's catchy. Nowadays you want something that, let's be real, you want something that you can be cool playing out in public. Before it wasn't like, you listen to like the 80s and 90s, it sounds like wrestling. Nowadays it just sounds like a regular song,
right?
And the thing I love, like I remember when Ultimate Warrior died, for the whole week the Orioles Adam Jones was using his theme music for walk-up music, and that's what you see a lot, people using it as walk-up music, people using it in NBA NFL games. So that's the way I look at it for theme songs.
Does that make a good theme song? Like I feel like a good theme song, or one that's stuck on the mind of everyone, is one that's like everybody can walk into. Like for me, to watch the UFC fighter not only walk into the Undertaker's theme song, but walk in with the urn and feel the essence of it. Like I feel like that also makes for like one of those timeless theme songs. Yeah. I don't know if anybody agrees with that.
Nah, you hit that right on the head.
So what I'll add to what you guys have said is it's got to be something that grabs me in the first 5 to 10 seconds, because that's usually like before like the graphics hit or before like the wrestlers come out, it's gotta really grab you like immediately. So that's where, you know, whether it's the Stone Cold Glass Break or whether it's Little Kim laughing or whether it's like, you know, Viva la Raza, like something that's gotta grab it before like the music comes in. Or even like Bobby Roode where like the piano plays, like it's gotta be something that grabs my attention. So then when the music hits, you're like, all right, you got me.
Or
Word.
builds like either does
Builds,
that
yeah.
or dun 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 like
Like,
Shawn Michaels, boom 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 boom. You know,
right. I like to
it's
have the
gotta be.
theme song that literally makes everybody goes, what the heck is that? Because for a while, like Daniel Bryan's WWE theme song version was my ringtone to the point
Mhm.
when people would look at me as like, is that the Call of Valkyrie? And I'm like, yeah, but they're like, that doesn't sound like the original one. And I'm like, no, because it's the wrestler. And then I actually had somebody go to me and it's like, oh wait, that's that guy that always screams yes. And they had him at a Yankee game, and I was like,
Wow.
Seindole, you said it perfect. Something that makes people go like, "What's that?" Because when you think about a good theme song, you think about something like Justin said, where it catches your attention. And essentially, what it's doing is it's giving the crowd an opportunity to jump out of their seat, right? Like when that
right,
glass breaks, you see everybody jump out, and then the music hits. So, like, if you're for the gamers out there, y'all know like when NBA WWE 2K started where you can create the interest, but you could like say if you wanted to have the beginning, say be like Dolph Ziggler's Titantron, but then the first part of the walk is like Mr. Perfect, the second part of the walk is Hulk Hogan, the third part is The Rock. You could do that, but that first part is the part where the wide shot for the camera gets the wide angle of the crowd, that builds everybody up, and then everybody go from there.
Right.
Joe Gacy, I gotta listen to it. I'm usually watching NXT on mute because I'm doing other stuff, so I gotta check that out.
his
What
theme
makes
song
it
is good.
dope?
His theme song is good.
Okay,
What kind of vibe?
I want to say, I don't think I'm so bad at describing things. You'd have
Yeah.
to like Corey
Okay.
describe it better than me. I'm so bad at describing things, like real bad.
it's a mellow.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it one that
Okay.
hits you like immediately, or is it one that builds like how Romans builds?
It's one of those that builds.
Professor
Yeah.
Tro in the comments.
Nah, like
From a
okay,
producer.
so
I love
the
that post.
brood. Yes, that I feel like this is the perfect time to bring up one of my favorite people in the world. Hey,
shit.
Krista.
Hey, this is on her
Yo,
second cup of wine. Of course, you gonna enter the chat.
It's literally, well, in my head, I'm on my second cup of wine because I didn't get up to go get it. But it's literally funny because I was about to. I was
The way
literally
I
about
can relate to that, Krista.
Yo, in my head, I'm on my second cup of wine. But I was literally about to text you just now, be like, opening right now.
Yo,
Like, I'm getting it right now.
Right? I was like, oh, the brood. Okay,
Bro,
so
the brood. Yeah, I missed it at WrestleMania. I'm just saying.
no, it would have been dope.
Stop.
It would have been dope.
I would have
Stop. We're
loved
not choosing violence today,
Wait,
Brian.
which
no,
WrestleMania? Are we
This
talking
year.
this year's.
It didn't
I
have the
wanted to
brood-
hear that.
It was brood edge. It just didn't have the brood music.
Yeah, that's all we got was a Titantron.
Maybe it was his
Well, you
voice.
said Broken Dreams. Drew McIntyre. I popped when I heard that this year. I mean,
Yo,
last year.
I didn't realize people were clamoring for that until they brought it back, and I was like, "Oh, people fuck with this." Okay.
So we just gonna gloss over the fact that I just came in and Brian's choosing violence with me. Okay.
That's what I said. No,
Yeah, we glossed
I
over it.
defended
Yep.
you. I was like,
We got past the
no,
exit.
it's
Nope.
too early. We're not
Listen,
choosing violence.
People
ain't had your
have been
second glass
choosing
yet.
violence with me all day.
Love you though,
Okay.
but I love you.
I came to your defense. I
You
said,
did,
let's not choose
Seindole.
violence.
Like, I appreciate
I
it.
tried.
But yes, The Brood is literally a song I have on my phone. Like, period. Like, it got to the point one day I had my music blasting. Like, you're in your driving mode, you have your music blasting. It scared the shit out of me because I forgot that it was on my phone. I'm like, what's breathing so hard? What is this?
Wow.
Right. It scared the fuck out of me. I'm like, oh, it's The Brood. Okay. Whew, I thought something was happening to my car.
On the graphic is y'all put out on those wrestling girls Instagram volume 3, and that's one of the classics that's on that song. I mean, on that CD.
Absolutely, that one. Another theme that I have on my phone is Voices, Randy Orton. Like, who cannot have that?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know how I feel about Randall Keith. Y'all know how I feel about
Yeah,
Randall Keith Orton.
Let's send good vibes to Randy.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
you
Like,
Healing
Randy.
vibes.
I hope
we
he can
need
have
him
at
to-
least one last match, so he has like some sort of like
I
control.
know he's worked
Yeah.
so hard. Like he
Can we just
literally.
simplify right now who hurt him for him to be out so long?
I don't
It
think
might just
anybody,
be like old wear and tear.
No, it's wear and tear.
You know what I
because
mean?
whenever,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
gotta be wear and tear because when he gets injured, it's usually something significant. Like I remember when he had the shoulders, where
Yeah.
it's like, nah, he's gonna be out for a minute, because it wasn't just like something simple. It's like, yeah, but you probably worked through this, so that means cartilage is probably gone, or ligaments are
Right.
kind of messed up. And you know, like how the majority of wrestlers wrestle through injury, so it's like when it's time to go
Right.
under a knife, it's probably like you probably did more damage to it than it was initially. And with
Okay.
backs, that can always be something like just very
Yeah.
iffy because you're talking spine, you're talking spinal cords, you're talking, yo, this gets injured, that could be
Yeah.
your disc, or you could be paralyzed if that gets messed up.
Right. And we're not talking about like literally a muscle. We're talking about bone. So like where he adds, like you lose a connection in your bone, that's it. Like you have to, it's not like a super heal wound. Like it's almost like a slow heal. So like him going in just to wrestle on that, it's hard. Like that's what same thing will happen with Big E. People are like, oh, Big E's around, was waiting for him so long. Like you can't just jump back in after you have to fuse your neck back together. That is something that takes time. Like you have to not only watch, you can't watch your bones, you have to watch your nerves, you have to watch your vessels, you have to watch a whole bunch of stuff. So I mean,
speaking
if
of
this
Orton,
is
I love this old theme music too.
Right.
I know he
My-
really
I
didn't
don't
care for
like
it.
it as much. Like when, like, you talk about the theme music, like when he first,
Yeah.
okay, and nothing
I
you
like
can
it too
say.
much.
That hey part used to hit.
No,
I
it
don't
used to
know.
hit, but voices hit so much better.
Oh,
Voices
definitely,
is
definitely.
so much better. And
I
back
like
to Orton and his
voices.
injury, like I have 2 herniated discs in my neck and in my back, so I know. So,
Prayers, no
So
sorrow.
what's your top 3, Christy? What's your top 3 favorite theme songs of all time?
okay, so of course, The Rock. If
Which
you
one?
Which one?
Okay,
You just
okay.
said
So Hollywood theme, I love it, and I love that that's my theme song. But the intro literally takes so long. Like if you listen to the original, we were in the superstore, whatever it was at WrestleMania this year, and I have the video. Like I'm literally sitting here recording, so I can send it to you guys. Like my theme is on, and it took forever. It probably took like 5 minutes for it to drop. I'm like, no, I can't do this. But I think it's the if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
That's
That
the
was
best
Okay,
song.
so wait, that's what I'm saying. There's 2 of them. There's
No.
one where it's just if you smell what the Rock is cooking, and it's like if you smell
No.
what the Rock
first one is do you smell what the Rock is cooking? That's the
That's
very
my favorite.
Okay.
The
Okay.
That's
second
my
one is
favorite.
the if you smell, because once that crescendo hits, that's when the Rock will literally like just bolt out. Like he'll run to the ring. So it's
I'm glad you
that
told me
right
that because I never knew the difference.
there.
I'll
That's
be-
why,
Yeah,
this
there's
is why
like
I'm the
he has like
resi-
3.
I'm
Well,
the
one he was
residential
a
Rock
heel,
fan.
but when he was there, that if you smell, because that's the one on Volume 4, that was when he was on his mega babyface run.
Yeah,
and
the
it was
babyface run.
it hit different. Like that is like the theme of 2000 if you really think about it,
Yeah.
because that was the first full summer we had SmackDown, so that was the theme right there.
Okay,
Is that
so
the
that's
one
number
where he's
1.
going? The Rock says. Is it that one?
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
one I remember.
that's the one. So number 2, I can't do 3. I'm gonna have to do 4 p.m. I'm gonna have to do an honorable mention. Number 2 is of course China's Knife Underwear. Don't treat me like a woman. Like
Oh, yeah.
who comes out to that? Like who?
That was awesome.
And then the
Shout out
yelling in the
to
screen.
Rakarsha because she definitely put that in the. I don't know if that's the same China song, but she definitely.
Yes,
put it.
it's who I am. I just know
Yeah.
it. Don't treat me as a woman because that's all you hear. Like that's all you hear. Number 3 would definitely have to be the X-Pac version of the DX.
Oh, that
was
one's good.
I like that.
Like
one.
it's just like make some noise. I'm a scream till I don't got no lungs. Of course, I'm gonna make noise because you told me to. Oh, and okay, I said 4, but I'm gonna have to 5. 4 is definitely No Chance in Hell because why not?
Oh my God! Yes,
Yo,
I
yes.
love that.
The energy.
That's one of my dad's favorite theme songs.
Really?
Yeah, so my family, we just love music. So my dad has this habit, like he would put the music, he'll turn the TV all the way up if he really likes the song, like the Sopranos theme song. Like I remember that as a kid
Mm.
because he would blast the TV because that is a fire ass theme song,
I
and
think
he would
that's
do
like
the
a
same for No
'90s kid
Chance.
thing. Like when the TV's on, it
Right,
just goes all the
right.
way up. That's it.
Exactly. So with No Chance, my dad always liked the guitar. Like he was just always like yo, this is fire. Which is why I always pop when Vince comes out because I'm just like, yo, I love this song. But
Yep.
that's one of my favorites. That's up
Do you
there.
remember hearing it the first time in person?
Yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. I do. Of course
Okay.
I
I do.
do.
Because like I remember my first show, Vince did like one of them open, like it opened with him coming out, and he wasn't even like Mr. McMahon, but you know how he would just
That
show up,
part.
and he was just introduced to like, all right, y'all, like everybody's gonna have a battle royal. But I remember, like, mind you, like I said, this is my first Raw, and the music hits, and everybody jumps to their feet, and then you see everybody doing that. I'm like, this is like the greatest thing ever.
It's the best thing ever. I think, and it's like Rakasha said, it's so many. Like as I'm naming them, a lot of other ones is coming to mind. But what I would say, like what I have to like wrap up as 5, although P gave me 3, and I'm sorry. It's literally a toss up between Shane McMahon, Here Comes the Money, because I always
Ooh.
pop for Shane McMahon.
Damn, now I really wish he was there at Mania.
I was there. I was talking to
I mean, he was
Jamel
there, but like,
getting
because it
food.
really was like 2 of the wildest minutes ever.
She didn't miss
like,
much.
how? Like I wasn't even
Right.
like there was no line for the women's bathroom. Like I lived like we were getting booed by the men because there was a longer line for the men's bathroom than the women, and I'm like, what is that?
That sounds like a personal problem.
It was personal. We were just like, oh, all the women, like literally, we were like in the stalls having conversations about how the men feel like how we feel. It was the most
Sounds
funniest
like a
thing ever.
personal
Honestly,
problem.
to defend Krista, I think she'll take the flex that she got to meet Jamel Hill over watching Shane McMahon tear his quads like Vince McMahon.
Period. Okay, because we had a conversation, honey, from one
Because it was
journalist
like-
to another.
That part.
Exactly. It was like he's back. All 2 minutes later. Oh my God,
Right,
he's
I'd
gone.
have been pissed.
What
All
just
right, I'm going
happened?
for the, like I waited
So
for
what's
the
your
bathroom.
other favorite theme songs?
Okay, I have. Damn, I forgot the last one. I was in my head. I love AJ Styles' theme song.
Oh yes, love AJ Styles theme. Oh my god,
Like
it
they don't
sounds
want
like
none.
a DMX song, low key. Like
It
yo,
really does.
No,
It sounds
yeah.
like
The-
it sounds like
I thought
Ain't
it
No
was.
Sunshine.
Like it always feels that way. It just goes with him. Like I pray to God they never change his theme. That would be a huge mistake.
When
You know what
listen
made
to
it
DMX's
iconic?
Ain't No
Like-
Sunshine, and then you listen to AJ Styles' theme song, they sound like cousins of each other.
Yeah. What made it iconic was when, remember, they were already anticipating him coming into the WWE. So the first time you heard it was a theme song he hadn't had anywhere else. So the minute you saw it, and then you saw him, and then you saw his like logo pop on the screen, I was like, no, I was like, the rumors are fucking true. Like that's really AJ Styles. And then he came out, and I was like, that's my boy.
Just the fact phenomenal, because like nobody else goes by that.
Nobody else goes by
Just in the
phenomenal.
words phenomenal, and then you see Roman Reigns' face.
Roman
pop
over
up.
here,
Yo,
squinting.
Roman was like,
KSO? What is that?
Yeah,
He's like,
Roman was
oh.
like, what? Huh? He's squinting hard.
and then when I
right?
saw the hood, I was like, oh my God, the rumors are true. I was like, it's AJ Styles. I was like, wait.
Roman was like, damn, it's
I was
him.
like this.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Mike,
wasn't
what's
on
your
Instagram.
favorite wrestling theme song? Let us know.
The icon. Dylan said the Iconics is.
No, the Iconics theme song
No.
definitely hits.
That
I like
Iconics theme song
a
slaps.
lot.
It does.
And what's dope about their theme song is when you associate it with the wrestler, like unlike now, a lot of them kind of sound the same. Is I love that pop. Because my thing is, let's say like even 3 years from now at a Royal Rumble, we're gonna recognize that music if it hits. And that's the big thing. And a lot of people don't have like NXT. Like a lot of them, like all their music sound the same to me. Like it's not
No,
like,
I agree.
It's
To
like-
be honest, I don't remember the Iconics theme song because I didn't care for them.
Oh, it's a
That's
That's
banger.
fair. It's a good
it's
song
one
though.
banger. It's a
Chris,
banger.
it's one of those that I said on like a previous fan club episode. Like you can actually hear this on the actual club, and it will go. Like that's one of those that you can dance to.
That bass.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again because every time they would come out, I would just be so irritated, and he would know this. Like I wouldn't even stand or clap. I'll be sitting there.
They were good heels. They were good heels. I was like, yo, if Krista hates you, you doing your job.
That part.
Dominic.
That part.
Like, oh, Dominic, like, and I'm like, yo, that's me and Letty's like top 5 right now. Like, we like, yo, Dominic got a mic. It's time. It's you know, we gotta be sitting right here in front of the TV.
Oh, I know my 5th.
Speaking of, what is it?
Go ahead. I was gonna say,
no, I want to know what your 5th is.
New Age Outlaws. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better.
Oh my god, that's so good! Oh my god, I loved. Oh my god, that's so nostalgic. I love it.
I'm just reliving our DX moment. Sorry.
Oh, shout out to our DX moment. That was dope. It's so funny too because like that theme song was like the first time I talked about wrestling in school and the last time I talked about wrestling in school. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, cause it was just like, okay, like, cause it was one of those things where I didn't need to talk about it with everybody. But the fact that like a song, like, you know, like people don't need to even watch wrestling to recognize the glass breaking. Like, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Like, you don't have to be a wrestling fan like us to even like recognize that type of shit. Like,
oh, that's a good question by Dylan.
Judas,
listen, I like Kingdom better than I like Judas. So like Judas, Kingdom is better than Judas. Like Judas, if you listen to Judas, Judas doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it has like no. Listen to me, because I was in the car when we first all agreed that we were gonna do this. I was in the car listening to it, and I'm like, this song doesn't make any sense. But when you listen to Kingdom slaps. Kingdom and Sandpaper are my 2 favorites from Fozzy.
Judas isn't that great of a song. That's why it's just it's catchy.
It's catchy.
Right. Kingdom is both.
All that it is.
Right. And I get that it's because, thank you, Vaughn. I get it because he went heel, he turned Judas. But like the song don't make no sense though. Like it gotta make sense. Like make it make sense. Like the game makes sense. Like Motorhead, which is my top number 1, by the way.
Well, we'll get into yours.
Yeah,
yes.
Say that.
Yes. First of all, my first year, I already know. Like
jumping the shark.
Honestly, I would have to agree with Vaughn here because Break the Walls Down is nostalgic for me, and I remember his debut like it was fucking yesterday.
It's the countdown.
So it's like I gotta give it to that.
I'm gonna be honest though. If or when Chris Jericho comes back, I think I could see him going with Judas just to have his own personal song playing at WrestleMania. Because let's face it, if Jericho comes back, it's going to be a WrestleMania. It's going to be a WrestleMania moment.
Do you want that to happen though?
I feel like he's going to create a different song for that moment though.
I do. I think
because he works in phases.
I understand that. That's true. But I think the idea, because of what Judas was, to have that in front of a bigger audience, I think he would do it at WrestleMania. Like you say, like it's like WrestleMania 41, or let's say they take WrestleMania back to Canada. I could see Jericho doing Judas. But
I think if Jericho was to really come back to get that feel, that pop, that surprise reaction, he should definitely come back as using Break the Walls Down, because that countdown thing with the it sounds like a squeaking fence or something, or whatever you want to describe it as. That is something that's so monumental and iconic. Like, you know, it's Jericho. And then even when they cut that part out and it just went to Break the Walls Down and they screamed it, like, you just know it's going to be him. So if he was to ever make a return to WWE, he should do that with Break the Walls Down, because everybody knows, like, oh my God, Chris Jericho's back. This is the person that we love, despite whatever else he did and whoever else, the city, town, country, state, whatever. This is the Jericho that we know and love. So I feel like he should come back with Break the Walls Down, you know, if we want him to come back, because I don't.
That's true. So those are your favorites, Krista?
Yes, those are my 5. I mean, there's so much, but I just wanted to come in and chime in about my 5. Dylan said McFoley's theme, but like, which one? The car crash? Epic always. But yeah.
Oh my God, that car crash.
It's
See,
like,
that's what it's all about, is when you can hear like a sound, like a glass shatter, and it's associated with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And like, that's that magic of a wrestling theme song. Like,
unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I like the one before that because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because the one he had when he won the championship, and the way he was running around with the title after Austin, with Austin's biggest pop in January of '99. And every time I like hear that music, I think about Foley running around with the championship and then giving a shout out to his kids on the night that WCW shifted the war, gave WWE the war.
But it's crazy too. Before I get out of here, I didn't know that he had a different music. Like the way that I remember Mankind is the car crash thing.
It kind of went over my head that he had new music. I'm not even gonna front.
Yeah, like so when I went back to watch it, and I watched, that's like one of my favorite episodes. Like I watched that episode. I watched how DX came and took on the corporation. I watched how Stone Cold came and was the hero on that. Like they don't even give DX the credit because Stone Cold was such a major pop then. Like they don't even give DX the credit. But then when the music played, I'm just like, hold on, where's the car crash and the I'm like, what is this somber, sad Undertaker beats like music? Like, what is this? Like, this was Mick Foley's music before then, like for all three of his characters. Dude Love's music too was a banger. Can't tell me shit about Dude Love.
What you mean, Corey?
Yeah, Brian, I don't think that's unpopular because I think people actually fuck with it. Like, if you want to go unpopular, then we gotta go back like weeks ago when I said on here on a previous fan club, like the Sensational Sherry version of Sexy Boy is much better than the Shawn Michaels version of Sexy Boy.
Okay,
the Shawn Michaels version is trash.
What do you think? I need to know what you think because that is a very interesting take.
Sherry's version is much better. It makes more sense that a woman singing it and doing the Sean than Sean doing it. It's just like
that's true.
This feels like nails on a chalkboard.
That's true. It's just like, why are you praising yourself in that way? Like, why are you screaming for yourself in that way? Like, what type of you on for yourself?
Wasn't that his character too though? Like he had the mirror, you know, like he was just like, I'm just like so into myself.
Thank you, Corey. Fucking thank you. We here.
Yeah, Sherry.
Even Corey said,
I get it.
Sherry, okay.
Sherry's version was definitely better, which I didn't know that Sherry did it until Kurt Angle re-emulated it, and she was in the ring doing that with Kurt Angle. So I'm like, oh, Sherry did this.
That's one of those that you got to be like an old head that remembers like when Shawn went single for the first time, Sherry was with him and managing him. And that's how you get the Sherry version of Sexy Boy because Sherry was his manager for a minute.
So if that's the OG, then we always got to choose that one. Then, like,
boom,
that's that.
Period.
Oh yeah. So I see a lot of people putting different Triple H theme songs in the comments. Which is the superior Triple H theme song?
Listen,
perfect.
I don't care what anyone says. Motorhead the Game is number one. The one that he has now, the King of Kings, is number 2. And then everybody remembers his first one. I don't know if a lot of people remember the first. Say it again.
My Time?
Yes. That's
the one with the lyrics, not the one that's just the instrumentals.
The one that he essentially gave to Stephanie. The one he gave to China first and then to Stephanie.
Yes.
That's my favorite one.
That's my favorite one. But I'm just saying, like, imagine walking into the gym. You know, you got to hit the squat rack. Some of you like to hit a few bench presses, and you just the first thing is like, like come on, like it's just like you like, like you think about how Triple H used to come at that song, and that's what I like about a good theme song. Like imagine Triple H coming out to that song and he just don't give a fuck about his theme song. That wouldn't work. But Triple H used to come in, shoulders up, water in his mouth, water dripping down his face, coming to the ring. He's looking to the left. He's looking to the right. He starts open, and then he waits. And then you know what's strategic, y'all? He waits. He waits till the first guitar starts stringing out, and then he spits it to the air, and then he spits one more time, and then you like.
That's talking about the one now, right?
Yes, he's trying to tell you.
What was funny is, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's trying to tell you. He's like, all right, I'll walk through here. I'm trying to tell y'all when I'm ready to play the game. You know, when I spit into the air and when I huff out, when I get into my ring and I start pumping, you know I'm ready. That's what I like in the theme song. Like, I'm telling you.
I just feel like you can do that to My Time as well. Like, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying about all his theme songs. They all have that same commonality.
Right. Yeah, they all have that same commonality. But for me, I just feel like the colors and the everything went like the crowd will go dark and you see them colors. And it wouldn't even come from the top. It'll come from the bottom. So you'll have colors from the bottom silhouetting off of you. And them colors follow you all the way. New word.
The ultimate build-up.
Love it.
The ultimate build-up.
All the way to the ring. And and still the spitting or whatever. And then it's like anybody used it. Like China used it, but I feel like Stephanie owned it when she took it. Like she,
Yeah,
and then
her facial
with her
expressions.
with
Yeah,
her
I was just
with
thinking about her
vignette,
facial expressions walking down the ramp. Like,
Especially when she had the
even
belt.
in her vignette when she had to dress the way that she dressed, and she had like the crimp curly hair and everything.
I
Like,
mean, I love that
owned
Stephanie.
shit.
I love that era,
Yeah, so
Stephanie. We're talking about
that
she had her own shirt branding,
No,
and she
not yet,
had the
Mr. Marvel
title.
87. You ain't missed the aggression convo yet. We're
You
gonna
didn't
get
miss
to
the
it.
aggression.
and it's crazy.
Yo.
Her acronyms was SMH, so it was like
I knew that shirt.
Helmsley.
I didn't
That
realize
was
love
like
that.
more,
one of
she
the
made a
shows.
shirt for like Halloween. She made the Stephanie because I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you still have that. And she was like, no, I just bought a white shirt and I put SMH on it, and she made it. And I was like, ooh, I might have to.
Might have to get a print and press type situation over here,
right? Like for real.
And I feel like Dylan has my countdown right. So the next one I'm gonna go into
Oh yeah, hold
talking
on. There we go.
Talking about thank you. Talking about effects. He put down Dylan. Shout out to Dylan in the comment chat. Said FTR theme song. Patricia, you already know how I feel about this theme song. Like you already know if it comes like it was meant to be like a heel thing, but like yo, it's literally like two bad guys in like Miami Vice suits coming in to solve a crime. That's how I feel about the theme song. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like it's called the Dark Side of TR, but like. It feel like something different. Like I be jamming to that theme song. I like
I like it.
I be jamming to it. I jam to it.
That FTR one's one of my alarms. So
get up. And then last but not least, you already know how I feel about Trish Stratus. Healer Face. That song's just timeless classic. Like to hear that laugh in the beginning, and then to find out that it's Little Kim on the track.
Oh my god, even better.
I promise you, I was like 30 years old and I found out it was Little Kim. I promise.
No, I knew like, you could tell it was Little Kim. You can always tell.
I never paid attention.
Really,
I just didn't care enough to know. Like I just knew it was Trish Stratus.
I used to buy the CDs, but I felt like they made it a big deal too. That it was Lil Kim.
And Kim has a very distinct voice. That's like you can pick up as Kim.
It never it went right over my head. Like
mine too.
Really?
This is why me and P here. This is why we here because
like it went right over my head. Like
I such a good theme song.
Hip hop and wrestling in such different worlds that it never thought like, oh my god, rapping on this.
But I feel like with her theme song, like Trish was always meant to always give like leader of the pack boss babe, and I felt like you couldn't do a leader of the pack boss babe with any rapper but Little Kim, because Little Kim always gave that energy. So you put energy with energy, boom, you're gonna have a banger.
Yeah.
Facts. A lot of people are putting a lot of Eddie Guerrero themes.
Eddie Guerrero, WCW. I was wishing the LWO used it. It was the old, so it was Eddie Guerrero.
Ryan, just send us the link in the chat.
And then it was the LWO's theme music, and that's what I was hoping that they would bring.
Okay,
got you. Yeah.
McCoy brought up Surfer Sting's music. That was like one of the first themes that I remember singing back in the day from WCW.
Interesting.
I do remember that. What about Rey Mysterio? A lot of different versions of his theme, WCW, Boyaka Boyaka. I like his current theme.
I like the Boyaka Boyaka. I like that one.
Boyaka too.
I like it. It's just, I mean, it's two different eras, right? So it's tomatoes. Like this one works for him. So the current one, but I also like the one. It was another sort of rap song that he had that was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
sort of rap song. That's
you know who other things.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I know
Brian.
what you're talking about, Brian.
Think about
the thing is with some of these wrestlers where they have more than one, that's where like for people in the chat, if you're gonna drop like a wrestler's like thing song, like if they have more than one, be specific. Because like when it comes to Triple H, where it's like there's 3 or 4, which one?
He has like 5.
I like what Triple H would do. The King of Kings in the beginning, and then it would transition into the game. I think he did that like for one of his WrestleMania entrances.
He did it the one where it was him and Stephanie coming down the ramp on a bike. Yeah, that's the one you're talking about.
That's the one I thought.
Yeah.
You know who else theme slaps? So it just came to mind. Big Boss Man.
Which one?
Wow.
Oh, never mind.
During Attitude Era. I know you ain't asked for that. during Attitude
No, I
Era.
figured you wouldn't be talking about
I wasn't
Tall
talking about
County.
the older one
Yeah.
though. During Attitude Era.
Corey,
when he
you
was part
teaching
of
me
the
something new. I
corporation.
never knew that about FTR's theme song in the comments.
That
That it
makes
was
sense, though.
I never knew that. Now I know. It makes a whole lot of sense because
Wow, I low key love that makes me love that
makes
more and
even more
FTR
right.
more. Like low key.
They are
That makes me
students
want to
of
get a
the
major.
game.
It still makes me want to get a matching.
I'm about to say it, P.
Oh yeah,
I
test.
it.
This is a test.
P, I promise you, I was just about to say it, yo. I tell you, test music is undefeated sometimes.
So
Like
fucking
literally,
good,
I
yo.
would love for somebody just to play it in an arena so I can hear it and say that I was there to hear Tessa's music. Because
Yo,
what?
seriously, that shit slaps. Wait, can we just talk about the Black Thought's comment about Kofi Kingston's birthday?
It was.
No,
Like,
let me tell you. Can I
Mind,
please
I
talk
don't
about?
remember this,
I
but-
agree.
Can I please talk about how tight I was to learn that this man was African? I said, so let me get this straight. Now you stick him with this Bobby Condas and Java theme song,
Wow.
and not only do you not change it, y'all make him keep it, and he's not even Jamaican. And then y'all bust him on the Raw, and they're like, okay, we're just not going to change it. We're just gonna,
we just gonna give him a regular English
give him
accent,
a regular English accent. But you got to keep the theme song though.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Shout
then
out to Bobby
we're gonna
Condas
have
and Java.
Triple
Love
H call
them.
him out like, didn't you
I'm
have an
about to
accent?
say, yeah, we love Bobby Condas and Java.
We
Don't do
love
that.
Bobby
Period.
Condas. We love it. We love him.
Those are
We
the
love
homies.
him.
Those are the
On the
homies.
reggae tip, can't wait to go again this year. Don't care.
Do y'all remember?
Listen, y'all, do
Steve
not hit me for
Blackman's
tickets, okay?
music? 'Cause I don't.
No, we.
I don't think
I
I
don't
remember Steve Blackman's
I don't
music,
remember
but I
Steve Blackman's
do.
music.
Somebody else wrote Eric Bischoff's music.
Oh, I do like Eric Bischoff's music.
I like Bischoff's a lot.
I do. Yeah.
That was a perfect theme song to have coming into the WWE.
Yes.
I'm
I
back.
agree.
I'm back
Oh my God, I
and
totally
better than
And then he
ever.
can just like walk out
Wow,
all
so is that one.
smug and like it's perfect for sure.
That's
Yeah.
just so nostalgic. Like that screams like ruthless
It
aggression era for me.
It does.
Whenever I hear Bischoff speak.
Also,
We're talking about Bad Bunny.
To
His
answer
entrance
Dylan's question, Bad Bunny comes out to Booker T, but at Backlash he came out to Shambaya, which is like an
And
older trap
that was
version.
one of the best entrances ever. Like hearing that crowd sing word for word.
Yo,
Yeah.
it hits so
Is this
different.
true? Is Black Thought's comment true? Did Nicki Minaj do Victoria's Secret?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I ain't the willing to mess with.
Well, I
Right?
never knew
I
that.
ain't the lady to mess with. Yeah,
She did.
yeah.
She did.
It was early in her career.
Okay,
Shut
Nicholas.
the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What?
That's why I said. That's why I always say like, energy meets energy. Think about what
Mhm.
Nicki Minaj was when she started versus the transition that Victoria made. Perfect.
Mm.
Do y'all
What
remember
about Too
Four
Cool
Horsemen
singing?
theme?
I remember the late '90s theme a little bit. If
I
I'm
never
not
knew that
mistaken.
one.
Yeah. I remember it. Yeah, it was solid. It was solid.
Okay.
I mean, WCW
about-
was so
Hey,
underrated.
Stephanie.
I ain't
Hey,
really care for Cody.
Steph.
I ain't like nothing with Cody with no knee pads.
Oh
No,
my
I
God.
like.
Hey,
It was hard. It's hard to
Hey yo.
Anything that Cody I didn't like. Ain't no pause.
Not the no knee pads.
No knee
Wrestling, you can have
pads.
knee
You
pads.
look weird.
I love Goldust music too.
Ooh,
Like you
Goldust
just
music is good.
Goldust when
you
he was the whole theme and everything just went, child, you can
His vignettes with that theme song again, neck and neck, and they never
Perfect.
change it up. I always appreciate that. They always gave him fog. They always gave him like almost like a mist, like not a mist, but like a fog, and then it was like just straight gold. And it's trying to always keep up with the essence. Another theme song that always gets stuck in my head that I had as a ringtone when I first got my first like real cell phone, like into the Android era, was Shelton Benjamin's theme song. I had that as a ringtone too. Like,
Ain't no
like
stopping me now.
yes,
That one.
That's a good one.
I don't
it's
know
a good one.
Too Cool's music, because who couldn't who never danced to Too Cool music?
Right.
Yeah, the
Like,
That
worm.
was a goodie. That had the crowd hype. Any show they did, house show, whatever, it was hype.
I always did the worm in the house. Like I could be in the room and laying in the bed. My sister's like, Krista, come. He about to do the worm. I'm coming. I'm coming.
I couldn't do it, but I was just like, I'm
I
doing it
couldn't do
mentally.
it.
Don't ask me
Word.
now, but then absolutely. Oh,
Love it.
APA.
APA was good. So Justin, what's yours? What's your all time favorite?
So mine's is very difficult because like I have an entire playlist full of music. So I
Is that
went
CM
with,
Punk I see?
so let me get there. Let me get there. So when it came down to like coming up with my three, it's like what are the three that I come back to the most, that I listen to the most, that like no matter what mood I'm in, I can play this and my mood instantly changes to like happy, great vibes and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
first up is Cult of Personality because I actually love this song. I've been listening to Living Color way before CM Punk ever heard of him. So I've been on that bandwagon before CM Punk did.
Shade.
Hey, it is what it is. As a New Yorker and also Living Color's from New York, they are a black band. A lot of
Yep.
people don't know that unless you go back to like the WrestleMania 29 performance, but we'll talk about that later. But Cult of Personality is one.
You wasn't watching at the time, just for clarity, right?
I
Like,
wasn't. It was the
right,
next
right.
year. It was WrestleMania 30. I started watching. So when I go back and see WrestleMania 29, and I'm just like furious. I'm like, fuck, that was in New York. Living Color actually did Cult of Personality live. Damn it! I wish I was watching this a year earlier because I would have went. But
It was amazing.
things happen. So my second one is No More Words for Jeff Hardy. Shout out to Endeavor After because this has been,
Mm-hmm.
if you are a true Hardy fan, we have
Yep.
been fighting for this for years with Jeff Hardy. When Jeff Hardy was working solo in WWE, this new run back where it's like, why is he continually coming out to the Hardy's theme? Especially where Matt Hardy got new theme music,
Yeah.
like at least twice, stuff like that. Why is he still coming out to the Hardys where the Hardys should be just the Hardys? Why can't we get No More Words? And that became like at least 3 years of like fans begging WWE and Endeavor After. And then Endeavor After was like, yo, WWE actually owns the rights to this. We don't. So all at them.
Bro,
And
I
then that was
popped when he
just
won the title and he was using that music. I
Mhm.
popped. And like that, it became it went on my playlist after that.
yeah. And then like one of the videos I watched the most when it comes to wrestling related is it's a SmackDown that happened in Baltimore where he
Yep.
celebrates winning the title and it's
I was-
just no commentary at all. It's
That was my
just
first
no more
SmackDown.
words blasting while Jeff's getting confetti, while Jeff's getting pyro, and the crowd's just going crazy. And it's like the best 3-4 minute video ever because you don't hear no one fucking talk over it. It's just Jeff celebrating, the fans going crazy, and no more words playing. It's one of my favorite videos I love watching. And so my third theme, I didn't keep it WWE centric because I listened to all of them. I listened to AEW, I also listened to New Japan. And Tetsuya Naito's Stardust is such a fucking vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're playing a video game when you hear his theme music. That is just like, it's so addicting and it's so catchy. And it's one of those where it's just like, I could be driving. I also don't want to go 120 on a highway. Or I could be just in the gym. It's like, nah, we got to put the speed up on the treadmill even faster. Because, like, it's such a mood. Like, and New Japan has so many great things. But that one just stands out to where it's like, bro, I'm fucking all the way in. And Naito was, like, the one wrestler when I started watching New Japan, like, I gravitated to. And that theme was just like, what the fuck is this? I have never heard anything like this in a minute. And I listen to a lot of music. And it's like, this is so distinct, but so fucking catchy and so great. So that is my three, even though, like I said, this was extremely hard because I have over 200 songs on my playlist of wrestling things. That's how many I listen to.
Yo,
But these are the three I always come back to.
Yeah.
I went to your list and I was like, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. There were so many theme songs you had in there.
Wait, you shared the list?
Yeah, he shared in the group chat.
Oh,
I just Googled it. I just searched because I have both Spotify and Apple Music. I have one on Apple Music that I listen to when I go to the gym.
I need that.
Which is why I talk about Triple H because the first thing I always start off with is Triple H, and then my shout out to my brother in the chat because I have the NWO theme song in there too.
Thank you for joining us.
Like it's a lot of like gym worthy, shit in there.
Okay,
Then we have to get into the NWO one.
I'm glad you brought up the gym, Seindole, because one thing. So I posted a tweet also last week about everyone in their favorite gym songs and workout songs, and a lot of them were fucking wrestling songs.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta listen to that NWO song though. Like you be feeling like you doing some shit.
Which one?
Which one? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Now,
Which
I know
one?
you're talking about Rock House,
Yes.
but the Wolfpack though with C Murder, I wanted like when I first heard it, I was like, "Where is the?" I was looking in Kmart to see if they had it on a CD or a tape, but they did. Like I wanted that joint bad. I don't think the WCW CDs came out till like right before WCW was about to die.
I guess that was they. I guess that was their way of trying to save the company.
Mm. So,
I mean,
do y'all remember the Ring of Honor theme songs?
Some of them,
some of
like
them,
back
yeah.
from 2012. Kevin, I actually like Kevin Steen's music more than KO's music.
Really?
It was Unsettled Differences. Yeah, I like that song a lot. It's and a lot of it's just the nostalgia from 2012 on when ROH was like big here. Who else had a good theme music? That's the one that really stands out the most. Oh, Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett's ROH theme song was really good.
Suffer Under Me or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, and him and Maria, like the way they would come out, they just look like a power couple. Yeah, the Briscoes had so many. I always like the one where they reach for the sky, boy, and it was just it was a certain time. So yeah, but they always had some bangers. Yeah, they definitely had some bangers for what it was.
Black Thought said Matt Hardy's one was fire as well.
Mm.
I think the Hardy Boys. Okay, can we have Hardy Boys moment real quick while we have Krista B before we let her go? Let's talk about the Hardy Boys music because
I was gonna mention it earlier. P, you've been on my head all day. You've been in my head this whole stream.
That's why we're those wrestling girls.
That's why we're those wrestling girls because period. Like because who else?
Yes, exactly. So I love pop. So that's why wrestling theme songs is important because I have to get that emotion when I hear it, like where something's happening and it comes on and you just know, you know what I mean? Like I also love to see like the evolution of wrestling themes. I know I was talking about the Hardys, but I can't help but think about Becky Lynch's The Man theme because she had that music for a minute, but it didn't always hit. Just like the Glass Shatter, if you watch like 97, and then you watch compared to like 98, 99, like it didn't hit the same. So the fact that
me and P did not share notes because that was in my head too. Okay.
Like I love seeing that. And like Becky Lynch's theme, like that, that when that bass drops and it's like, like that didn't always hit the way that it does now. Now when you hear that shit, it's like at some point in the last since like we started the show, like there was a point in time where it gave me almost the same reaction as the Glass Shatter because it was just that exciting. But like I didn't feel that way in like 2017, 2016. Like I wasn't like checking for that. But the Hardys, when they returned, and that music that we all know, that we all love, like I literally get goosebumps thinking about it to this day. Like that return in their music, like that by far is one of I would say that's probably one of my top 3 Hardy Boys.
You gotta also throw in the New Day, selling it though.
The New Day,
yes.
But I don't think they knew. I think I watched the 24, and I think they claimed that they didn't know.
Well, they had to have known because they were hosting it. If they
were saying, how did they not know?
Right, know that it's a surprise tag team. They don't have to know it's the Hardy.
You got to remember, Seindole, they kept it ultra quiet that the Hardys were coming back because like they were like the Hardys were doing a signing that same day, like hours before WrestleMania. So it was extremely hush hush that they were gonna pop up at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, if they did like P, like you said, P, they could have known it was a surprise person, but not the Hardys. But yeah, like hearing that theme music, I feel like it's so refreshing when you don't hear it for a long time and then you hear it. Like I said on a previous episode or live or whatever that we did, that hearing Eddie Guerrero's music, I thought he was gonna come out for a minute. And I'm just like, wait, nope. Because I've never heard it in person, but because when you don't hear it in so long,
and that's why it hits so good because
especially
it's just like,
when that person is
like
no
the
longer
last thing you expect
on this side of life.
God,
yeah, like it's just is just like one of those things. It's just like me for AEW, I probably will pop for every AEW theme song that I like, because I probably will never in life go to an AEW show. I don't care how much y'all try to get me to go, but I love y'all know how I feel about Jungle Boy's music. Y'all
Jungle
know
Boy's
how
music
Uh,
hits in
because
person. Oh
because
my
of the song that it
god,
came from, I feel like me and P get
so
it because we
fun,
were there. We were like,
That cage match. Mhm.
it
so
was just
fun.
it was just like a great way to kick off the show, even though he was getting to a cage match with like his ex best friend, and it got like real bloody, real nasty, real quick. But then when he won, people were still like, especially when he won. It hits different when he wins. Like it's one of those theme songs. It's like
yeah.
you when he gets out there, you're like, oh my god, Jungle Boy, and then when he wins, you're like, yeah, like
Exactly.
it works. It
Right.
all works in fusion. You know what I
Speaking
mean?
So
of Jungle
I can't.
Boy's,
No, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, speaking of Jungle Boy's ex-partner, Christian and Luchasaurus just beat up
Wardlow
Warlow, and
Ooh,
Christian just hit that
yeah.
unprettier on that ladder.
on the still ladder, yeah, on the ladder on Wardlow. That's what I'm about to say. It's about to get bloody right now because he just got hit
Of
on. He just hit
course.
the prettier on the thing. But yeah, back to Hardy Boys before I get out of here, because I don't want to overtake your show. Like listening to the Hardy Boys music, like I everybody remembers where they were when they came out at WrestleMania 33. Like I almost gave my aunt a heart attack because she had to run to my room. Like what happened? And me and my nephew was over here screaming like, "Oh my gosh, the Hardy Boys came back!" And she was like, "Shut up, stop making all that noise." But I'm like, "Mom, you don't understand." And then to like be in person to hear the music and to see that boy P, like we mention him all the time.
Yeah.
Like I really want to know what he's doing in these days.
Me
Like
too.
he
Like he
hasn't
was
been
like shaking. He was
he
like,
was
"It's Jeff
shaking
Hardy."
for Jeff
I'm like,
Hardy.
"You're
He had
like
been like 5.
8, and this is Jeff Hardy's like last leg of his career, and he still had that music, still has that effect." One of my like most fondest memories with my nephews growing up is us doing the Hardy dance together, because I didn't know that they knew. So every time I hear it, me and Letty hit it, and then they got up and did it, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Right.
that's just something that you don't remember,
Yeah, it's like it's one of those themes. Like you just love
Right.
it. And now I'm just like I know we talking about y'all talked about Jim Johnson and stuff like that. And I don't know if y'all gonna get into it, but it's just like now we had CFO. CFO kind of took over for Jim Johnson, and they got bangers too.
I put that on Twitter. I was on Twitter.
we
I was like,
definitely
let me
gonna
tell you
talk about
something. I
that.
was like, Jim Johnson, he walked. Like he got on the catwalk and he strutted. So that CFOs
I love
and
that.
is another the guy that writes the ones that write Roman Reigns' current theme
Def
song.
Rebel.
But yes, they can walk, honey. So they can run. I'm telling you, it's you gotta have that. You gotta have that fire. Like I just feel like every theme song that CFO puts out is fire. Like even Bobby Roode when we talk about Shinsuke Nakamura when we talk about like Carmella's theme that we talk about, like between them and the ones that wrote the Mrs. theme song, I gotta get their name up. It's like it's never a miss. Never a miss.
Right. It's never a miss.
It's never a miss. But I just want to say thank you. I know I'll let you guys continue because I gotta finish editing these dope videos that we did. Oh, I cannot wait for y'all to see them. The clips are amazing.
Get it.
Yes.
Subscribe to us on Patreon. It's $1
yes.
a month. You're missing out.
Period. And tomorrow we're back. Tomorrow we're back. Thirsty Thursday. I'm officially on my second cup of wine. Officially, I got it.
Okay.
This is the official second cup of wine. But I just want to say I love you all. I'll continue to watch and be in the comments. And also, I just also have to say real quick, another theme that I love was Enzo and Big Cash, just because Big Cash, whatever his name is now, is on AEW. He came out and
I don't remember his music. It was dope?
No, I'm talking about in WWE when they was talking like
it would be like the Italian theme, and then all of a sudden it would drop like
Enzo and Big Cash. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I love that. Oh my god, I love that. I love
and
that.
they would go on their intro. My name is Enzo Amore.
Yeah. I mean, it really
they had
wasn't
the crowd on lock.
Right,
can't teach
that. But it was that like it was real interactive. So I cannot wait to see what else you guys are gonna talk about. I'll be over here in the comments. And P, please don't start no violence.
I
love you too.
Nobody starts violence with P. People start violence with P.
No, what I'm saying is, please don't. No, P be slick. P be slick. Please don't start no violence with Black Thought. Black Thought.
No, Black Thought. He be starting a lot.
Can I finish? Let me finish. Black Thought, please don't start no violence with P. I don't have to come back on here and be referee tonight. My name is not Earl Hebner. I am taking a break. I am drained from today. And please don't try to throw shots at Brian neither, P, because he's right here. He's an easy target. Stop it.
You took all the fun elements out of the club because this is not the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm sorry. This is the club in the corner of Queens. Okay, this is where we at. We're club in Queens.
Justin a few licks, but it's not my club. But tomorrow, Justin,
if you come
on Thursday, that's it.
Hey, you be warned. You come from them licks. This tongue bite back.
Ooh. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like I owe you a few. Like it's long overdue.
What is happening?
But
Brian,
like
me and Brian just sitting here like.
Thank you so much for coming through, KRISTA.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for letting me come on. So love you too. See you tomorrow. And y'all subscribe and continue to pay attention. I'm out of here. Bye.
Love ya.
Love you too, girl.
So Seindole downstate is the one that does the Mrs. Entrance.
Thank you. Thank you. See, nothing but misses.
No, nothing but misses.
Brian,
we're not even going to respond to Black Thoughts. So Shinsuke Nakamura, I think we should just take a moment and just appreciate that because every live performance of his entrance is dope. Everything about his presentation, I think we should definitely give our flowers to real quick. So Brian, what are your favorites?
Well, this was very difficult to choose, to be honest with you, because I love a lot of wrestling themes, but I just went ahead with 3 that I'm going to probably play always, no matter what. And then, of course, one is the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
Ooh, put the ones up.
The ones up. It's nothing like blasting that through the streets of Baltimore, but also when my kids are in the car because they can't stand the bloodline, so I love trolling them. And
turn your kids to sender. You gotta convert your kids. We gotta send them to therapy. I don't like that.
Nah, you see, because look, on New Year's Eve when John Cena came back, they would not let up. So, but yeah, his Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect has always been one of my favorites, and there's the reason why he's his theme music was everything to me. It just made you it just feels luxurious, feels perfect, just make you feel like you can do anything. And then the Ultimate Warrior. You talk about somebody whose theme music was just perfect for them. Shout out to Jim Johnson. Because Warrior in WCW, for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was because his music wasn't what it is, didn't hit. So when I look at I think about and I think about him running down the ring, especially WrestleMania 6 and Jesse Ventura saying, Warrior, that's not smart for him to run, knowing he's got this matchup with Hogan. So, but it was just all that energy. And, unfortunately, we couldn't, before we saw him the day before he died on Monday Night Raw, it just wasn't the same. But, the music is definitely something that I always enjoyed.
Same. Your picks are good. I think one of the best things about Warrior was his fucking entrance music.
Yeah.
Yep. And the fact that he was
Why are your
100
kids
miles an hour to the ring.
Right. I don't know how you hard sprint. I looked at what WrestleMania was that where he long sprinted. I'm no wonder he getting up there and he he's so out of breath. How you sprint that far down the road?
If he was gassed, it would probably have been 12.
Wait, so 6 he sprints out of the Sky Dome. 8
right.
He sprints at the end at the Hoosier Dome.
Late.
That's still one of my favorite pops. We were talking about pops. That's still one of my favorites because that was supposed to happen earlier, but Shango fucked up the spot, and then they had the audible, and all of a sudden it's wait, that's Warrior. Wait, he looks slimmer. Wait, what's going on?
Wrestling gimmicks. Papa Shango, who would become the Godfather. Fan club episode.
Funny how he became. We got to talk about how these.
I only knew him as the Godfather, so I'll be interested to know people that lived through Papa Shango. And
Kama the Mustafa,
right.
the Supreme Fighting Machine.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 11 against he took the urn and melted and made it into jewelry.
It's funny why he became the Godfather.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
To me, how he became the Godfather, I never knew till I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I'm that shit is crazy.
His so mad
before
I didn't
wrestling,
that I should have as a kid.
When we was putting together the Book of Wrestling, and we
Mhm.
interviewed him. That was one of my favorite ones. Just the
Really?
stories of everything. That was
I
definitely one
can
of my
only
favorites.
imagine.
Talking to him, like, first of all, he gets on a Zoom that says, I only see one big black guy. He said, if y'all ready for a traditional interview, don't be ready for this one. And I said, oh, I'm
That's
in
the
the
best way
right.
to start an interview if there was fucking one.
And he
Yo.
goes, can I talk about cannabis?
Yo,
You can't.
I want to be in a room where it happens. I'm
Yes, you
sorry.
could talk
That
about
sounds like
Mary
a blast.
Jane.
Mhm.
Mary Jane. Of course, I want to be in a room where that happens. I'm sorry. That sounds like
Yeah.
way too much.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's get into some. So Andre put in the comments some mid
Mhm.
Carter's themes. So can you guys think of some mid
Ooh.
Carters that got
Black Thoughts
underrated?
just said a
theme
perfect
songs?
one with Natural Born
Yeah.
Killers because that's a
Would-
slept on.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a
That's
slept
good.
on Ice Cube song that's like a little hard to find, but that one just
Mhm.
goes so fucking. That's like Prime, Death Row, Dr. Dre, where
Oh.
it goes so hard and it's just like.
But they
It's
wasn't
just-
supposed to be using stuff, right?
Yeah.
No,
No.
they was just like
They
fuck it,
just-
and
it was
because
like-
nobody paid that much attention, they was actually able to get away with it.
It was like, I'm not supposed to use this, but this best describes me, so you're gonna have to play that. That's how most of it was.
Thankfully,
one
it was
Shout out to
before.
what hip
Thankfully,
hop
it was
has
before
done.
Google, where it's like, yo, do you know what the fuck they're saying in these
Wrestling.
lyrics? It's like, shh, don't tell anyone.
Batista
Oh,
was a
I
good
don't
one too.
remember Billy Kidman's theme. Was it?
Oh, his was really good. Him, yeah, his was really good.
Yeah, his was good. Hoover too. Well, no, Hoover's was the LWO's theme.
You know who wasn't supposed to use theirs, but used theirs? I remember when Sandman.
Conan.
Yes, between him and
Ashes to ashes, dust to
Dust
dust.
to Dust, yeah.
Conan. WCW's theme music was good. That was another Mid Carter.
Funny, so I was like, I forgot that Sandman actually had Sandman by Metallica as a theme song.
That's
And I was like,
dope.
he wasn't
That's
supposed to
dope.
use that either, but he was like, fuck you, I'm using it. He was
That
like-
became Mariano Rivera's theme music for me.
It did, but at least with Sandman, we have that memory of ECW's One Night Stand where he comes out through the crowd while Enter Sandman's playing, and the crowd's just going apeshit. That's
Yo, they
that's another
lost
thing
their
that's like.
mind.
That's another thing that's like, yo, I love going back and be like, let me go watch this 3 minutes when the crowd is just going nuclear. And Sandman's just getting drunk and busting up his face. And the announcer's just like, he hasn't even gotten to the ring yet. The match hasn't even started. He's already bleeding. It's like, bro, my man's about to catch CTE before the bell rings.
I'm done with you.
What the
Not
hell?
CTE, child.
Wait, speaking of that,
Well, remember,
so I
Seindole,
think-
he would take the beer, he would drink the
And,
beer, and then he would
like,
smash
he
the
would
beer
smash
cans
it
on his forehead. And he
until
did
he
like,
would bleed, yeah. But
and
like
he did that
damn,
at least 6 or 7 times before he got to the ring. So it's
he
like,
was a loose cannon.
that's so true.
that's an understatement.
What you was gonna say, P?
Yeah, go ahead, P.
No, see now now I don't remember, but I do want to talk about hip hop and wrestling themes because ECW, because it was the edgier brand, they took advantage of like hip hop's influence on like wrestling. We talked about like Little Kim and all of that kind of stuff. And the live performances, like Little Kim being a part of it. I learned about Nicki Minaj literally today. I was today years old when I was about that. I brought up Poppy in the last fan club because her live performances of like Io Shirai's theme song, Snoop Dogg coming out with Sasha Banks. We talked about celebrity just kind of like bled into obviously, live performances at Mania, but some of those are like underrated as well.
Yes. Sorry.
Like some of the people that have graced WrestleMania stage is kind of wild.
Yo,
Oh,
the fact is that, like, so like right here, you got, Justin brought up Living Color. He was a big fan of them. Me, I never heard of them, to be honest with you, right? So, like, I found out about them through wrestling, but also like Motorhead, same thing. And, seeing the wrestlers, just how they get excited about their matchup before and then having that music. You go back and look at like WrestleMania 17 and 18, even with the Dudley Boys, right? And they're doing Get the Tables to the forcible entry music, and you got Stacy Keibler dancing. You know, you also had like a 3-6 Mafia. I couldn't find a high quality image, but you know, they did Mark Henry's theme music and they did it on a SmackDown. You know, last week we talked, I think it was last week we talked about Jagged Edge on SmackDown.
Doing that iconic ass wedding
with Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy being in his Southern groove. Yo.
Yeah. But it was just something about like having those like celebrities and P, I believe you brought it up before. For some of them, this is the biggest audience they're gonna perform in front of. Like, and as wrestling fans, we kind of take that for granted. We like, oh yeah, it's WrestleMania. We know a lot of people, 60, 70,000 people. But like, you think about this year with Roman Reigns' entrance, right? If y'all go back and look at all the piano players, it seemed like maybe just one of them was like a fan. I was talking to somebody about this earlier.
Right?
Like,
no, seriously.
One of them is exactly. You did mention that last week.
And I'm just like, I'm telling you, like, on the average, like, one of them is like, I'm freaking, I don't understand. Like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me because I'm playing music and I also love wrestling. This is the best thing ever, which is also just an amazing opportunity, like, for sure. And I think we'll do another fan club at some point about like performances because there's a difference between performing someone's theme song and when there's like performances like on like pay-per-views and stuff.
Flo Rida.
As well. Or
Flo Rida and
what is it? Everybody was just like so confused. We're just like
everybody was, and you know what's funny? It's so sad to me that they did that to that guy because he's actually like one of the #1 country artists on the charts, and I feel bad that he had to go there and embarrass himself by performing for that dead ass crowd, and they thought, oh, because it's in Texas, we can get away with the shit. Like, no, you can't. Not everything works the way it's supposed to.
That's what
y'all really did him foul. Like he's one of the biggest artists. Because right now he literally sold out. He literally sold out. What is it? South by Southwest. Like his whole thing was sold out, and you made him play for that dead ass crowd in the middle of Texas. Y'all owe him so much. Like, y'all owe him so much.
It was such bad.
Flo Rida had everyone in the chokehold in 2011.
Yes,
I will say that.
But
because everybody
it's because they put him in the mid, like towards the middle, like end of the card instead.
Should have opened the show.
It should have opened the show. Like for a perfect example, if you go back to NXT Takeover New Orleans, for example, they opened the show with the theme of like that takeover and whatnot. And Triple H had that where from time to time you'll have a band open the pay-per-view instead of like we're gonna just have like a random act here just cause. Like, no, like if you're gonna have a band play, it was gonna play someone out, whether it was Alistair's theme, whether it was Ember Moon's theme. Otherwise, we're gonna have it at the beginning to kind of set the tone versus like we're gonna have like Flo Rida and Pitbull in the middle of WrestleMania 33 because why?
I have a question. Who is a wrestler that is nothing without their theme song?
Hook. I said what the fuck I said. If Action Bronson had his step, if it wasn't an Action Bronson doing that theme song, no one would really care about the way that he entered because it's so. And let me say this is not to come for him. It's one of those theme songs that are on market because think of Hook. He's very private. He's very quiet. You don't expect for him to be as shiny as Ricky Stark, and you don't expect for him to be as flashy as Chris Jericho. So what do? You give him a low-key, lowbrow theme song, and you don't give him any gimmick. No shade also to Action Bronson, because if you listen to the song, like I said, the same way I feel about Judas, the song doesn't make sense. But hell, it's there. I can't.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I just wasn't expecting it.
I gotta keep it 100 because when I heard, I'm like, okay, this is Taz's son, and I remember Taz's theme music. Like that Taz's theme music was one of those aggressive theme songs. Like, all right, like I'm not coming out the hood complete, but I'm coming out the gate. And his theme song went with his personality. So then when I hear his son is wrestling, I'm like, all right, we don't know that much about his son. All we know is that he wears hoodies and he's quiet. What kind of theme song could he have? So then when he had his first match and I heard Action Bronson's voice, I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Like you're keeping him at home traditionally, but you're also catering to his gimmick. Like he has a very low-key gimmick. Like he's very much like, I'm just here to do a job. Like it is what it is. I'm not here to flash y'all. I'm here to be me. Like it's very lowbrow, so it works. But
I got a main eventer for you. Somebody I'm realizing more and more getting exposed. Edge. What was Edge before he had Alter Bridge?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Before that, like all that,
yeah.
never. He was mid card at best. Never going to stop.
Not mid card at
think
best.
you know me. Yeah, he was better than tag team, but then afterwards,
that's one of my favorites.
Couldn't break through. You know what I mean? Couldn't break through that glass ceiling. But when he changed his music, he was the main eventer.
See, if we're gonna stay on this train of unpopular opinions, and I feel bad because Brian and Seindole were just singing his praises not too long ago. But if you take away Glorious, Bobby Roode doesn't do anything for me.
Yes, because none of his none of his songs in TNA hit at all. None. Nobody. Sorry, his theme song in TNA was not that great. When he had it, when it was him and Beer Money, it worked. But by himself, no.
Seindole, he was alright in TNA though.
We're talking about his theme music.
No,
we're not talking about him.
But you're saying he's nothing without his theme music. I would agree as far as the WWE version of Bobby Roode.
Okay, I'm talking about his theme music in TNA wasn't slapping.
But this
Glorious is a banger. Then the bell rings. I'm just like.
I felt, and that's why it frustrated me with Bobby Roode and WWE, because you have to look at TNA. Bobby Roode was like, why didn't they let you carry the energy that he had in TNA should have been able to been carried into WWE. And I think that's what disappoints me, because automatically in my head, and I hate to say it this way, him and AJ Styles, when I tell you they were the glue and the piece of paper holding shit together, they were holding shit together. They both should have had that same kind of welcome, but he went to NXT. AJ Styles didn't have to, because I guess one's hotter than the other. But it's just like you put the money on it.
AJ was red hot coming off of New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom 10, and that 5-star was Shinsuke. Like AJ was like, you couldn't be any hotter than AJ was before that Rumble.
Right. So when he got into the ring in WWE, you're like, okay. And the people say it's age, but it's just like, no, because him and AJ Styles are in like the same bracket, aren't they? When they both went to WWE?
I think Bobby went after, if I'm not mistaken. But
Bobby went after, but he went to NXT. He didn't go to main roster.
Yeah.
I have a question, just because I care about this. Which woman, besides Trish, because we already mentioned her, which woman has the best theme song of all time?
Victoria, Evanescence, all the things she say.
Honestly, and then the whole it just works. It just fucking works.
Always thought Victoria had the most believable finisher, because I never could see how you protect yourself from it.
What's her name is using her finisher now? I forgot her name. Emma.
Oh Lord.
No, actually, a lot of people are saying it looks really good. She used it at a live show.
It's just like it's so devastating. Like when I first saw her do it, I'm like, where do they like protect themselves? Because it looked like you about to die.
Beautiful. Between her and Nikki's finisher, I was just like, God, like y'all putting a lot on the line for a finisher. Respect, in my opinion.
Ember Moon.
Yes,
I liked Ember Moon's music too. Back in
shout out to Ember Moon.
Shout out to Ember Moon.
So I'm gonna say Sasha Banks and the OG Sky's the Limit, because it's such like a catchy banger. And then when you hear the piano version only of Sky's the Limit, it's so fucking contagious, where it's just like,
really,
yeah, like I can almost timepiece it to like Sasha's time in her life where she's young. This is the NXT run. This is now you're on the main roster. You're breaking history. You're making history, first ever, second ever, this and that. So OG Sky's the Limit is like, yo,
it was tattooed.
Black Thoughts. Yeah, it definitely was tattooed.
Really?
It was the one of the first like rock CDs or whatever I had, just because of that song.
I learned something new today. I never knew that.
Yeah. Evanescence was somebody else, but I do remember them doing something with wrestling.
Christian's TNA theme song is Evanescence. You're right. That's what it is.
That also is just like so nostalgic. But going back to Sasha Banks real quick and her music and all about that pop, when she had the hiatus after WrestleMania 35, like I was like every week it was like Stone Cold, me waiting for Stone Cold's music to drop, and I was like, when is Sasha Banks coming back? And I remember being like half asleep, and I hear her music. And for a second,
that.
and you hear the crowd as well for like 5 seconds are like, is that what I'm hearing? As am I? And I hear it and I literally jump off the couch and I'm just like, oh my God, that's Sasha Banks. That is the moments that wrestling theme songs are supposed to give fans. Like Cody Rhodes' music, for example, when he came back at WrestleMania last year, I wasn't 100% familiar with his music, but every single other person in the fucking stadium was. And when that fucking beat dropped, I can't even tell you how magical that fucking stadium felt at that time. Like, it was unbelievable. That to me is the feeling that you're supposed to get when you hear a theme song.
Like, I'll tell you this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And for me, like, theme songs that, like, we talk about Kelly. I'm sorry, Kelly Kelly's theme song don't get enough credit for how catchy that shit was. Because I remember going to Raw and Izon Stadium, and I was around a bunch of guys in the nosebleeds that were like, they were sitting the whole time. Like, mind you, these are grown ass men. They were sitting the whole time. But let me tell you something. When they heard that holla, holla, they got up and they started. It was bopping. I'm looking at them. I'm a teenager. I'm like, y'all look kind of weird, but I can get it. Like, when all she did was come out with her smile and her hands up, and it was just like, yo, Kelly was just glittery to look at. But then her theme song matched her glitteriness. So.
When she comes out for like Royal Rumble, and for me, like, I can't not think about wrestling themes. I'm gonna think about Royal Rumble because that's one of the biggest things is that countdown and that music hit, and you're like, oh my God, like, you know exactly who it is. Whether
you hear the music before you see the Titantron too, so that's usually like that's what I mean by that 5-10 seconds, like doesn't catch your ear because you don't see the Titantron until after the music starts playing. So when you hear that holla holla holla, it's like boom, I know who that is, and then you hear the beat go, and then that's when you actually see the Titantron of like the person that's coming out.
And then you hear go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say that's why the Rumbles before 95 don't hit no more. For that exact reason. Because there's no music.
Out. Like, what the fuck?
And at the time, like, we thought that was the right thing to do. But in 96, when they first introduced the music, like, oh wait, this is much better. Like, why wasn't it like this?
Right.
And then you think about Pops too, right? Like, imagine with Charlotte Flair. Whenever she returns, for some reason, and I know it's probably because people are so nostalgic with Ric Flair, but when you hear Charlotte Flair's version of her theme song, I'd be like, oh, like when she came out to the Rumble at spot 10 with Bianca Belair. When I heard her, I was like, oh shit.
It's that guitars.
It's like, it is so hard.
It's like her new theme song.
I love it.
I love it.
I like it too. I really do.
And
I agree with you, Dre. I do feel like Royal Rumble is a wrestling theme song showcase because it's like, does it hit? Like, that's the ultimate test. Like, does your music fucking hit? That's how you can tell if a wrestler's over when they come out. The crowd first night.
Bianca's first time when she had WrestleMania, when she came in at spot 2, it looked like a lot of people were into it, and they were into her just based on her entrance. So, and now when you hear it live, to me, there's no bad version of Bianca Belair's song live or hearing her come out to it. Because like with that band, I was like, yo, this, for it to be that universal, it sends it on a whole different level. For a college band to play your music. Like, remember, you think of that, and then I remember when John Cena also had a band play his music.
So I popped OD for, I don't remember which WrestleMania it was or what pay-per-view it was that he came back, but the Thugonomics, I don't remember who put it in the chat.
WrestleMania
35.
That shit, I didn't even mean to pop, but that's how music
World
really
Life
connects with you, where it's like, it just brought me back to that. I didn't even like that version of John Cena, but the music, I popped because I was just like, oh my God, that's the last thing I expected to fucking hear.
I tell you, Sable.
I popped because he came out to Yankees stuff. I was like, for a Boston guy to come out to Yankees gear, shit.
Yeah, when that whip would hit with Sable, especially in '98, I mean, the levels. You know, it was Stone Cold, Sable, and everybody else.
I was just gonna say that when you hear the whip, the next thing you expect to hear is the crowd. Like, it's almost a part of the thing, because she would hit, and then it's like everyone's like hyped to see like when Sable comes out. who has okay? You guys mentioned Kelly, I believe Tori Wilson. Who's another Divas entrance besides Victoria that's like underrated?
AJ Lee's.
I want to
Yeah.
AJ Lee.
It
I
is.
like AJ Lee music. Yes,
Especially
I
when
think,
she would
and I
skip
think just
down.
the package.
Yo, when she would
I was
skip,
gonna say the whole presentation. I think is what sells it.
I was sitting there, I was sitting there like this one time when she came out, and I was like, and then people were looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's catchy, like it gave you lollipop," but then again, you knew she was like a little
Crazy.
out there, so it was kind of like it kind of like almost gave you the theme song. Like, this is what's going on in her head when she's on the way to the ring. That's a working gimmick itself, because like Homegirl would skip around the ring.
Yeah.
Like, who
And
was
it
skipping to the
all
ring?
just went together, and
so
I think
good.
that's what's missing with theme songs today, where it
Yes.
literally goes with who you are. Like the Brood sounds like what the Brood is, like the Stone Cold, like all of it. Like, what would they have been without their theme song? And
Yeah,
now
like-
everything just kind of sounds like the same, which is like, you know, very unfortunate. But back then, like even Kelly's theme sounds like her. Like it looks like her. Like it just, you know, it
Yeah,
just
like
feels
the
like
Bellas,
her.
their
You know what I mean?
theme
Like,
song matches them. The
I was going to
Bellas.
say the
Right.
Bellas.
oh my god, me too. I was gonna bring up Brie Bella because me and Krista B love Brie Bella's theme, and
Really?
it's just so
It feels
like
what you
wholesome and just like I don't know. I guess you just gotta
It's
be
inspiring.
I just know Breeze is very divisive. Like there's some people that rock
Brie
with him, and some people are just like,
Mode. I love it.
I felt
It
like
was-
once they split and you really got to see like them on TV have their different personalities, it fit perfect with her.
right.
And especially when she would like come out to the defense of Daniel Bryan, or when she was
Yes.
feuding with Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
It's just like so much. That's why I really like Bree's music.
Me too. How
See,
y'all
the
feel
one-
about Alicia Fox's music?
Oh, that made me like Alicia Fox so
I like
much. It went with her
Alicia.
personality
solid. It's
too.
solid.
It went with her personality too.
The one I was
Yeah.
gonna say that for the divas, like my choice would be Beth Phoenix because I think of that and I think of like
Love Beth
if they
Phoenix.
ever did like a Wonder Woman like TV show, that will be like the theme music that goes perfect with that. And then that's what embodies Beth Phoenix, where she's just like so different and stands out above like the rest of the divas. And then you have that theme that just like matched
Final
me in heaven.
Boss.
That was perfect. Yeah, Final Boss music.
Naomi
Yeah.
too.
Oh
Nick.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her music's so good.
Now, which version of Naomi? Because like I actually like the original version of Amazing before they went to like the Glow version.
Oh
where you
yeah,
actually
I like
hear
the
Naomi
Glow
rapping.
version better.
I like
That's a good
that.
point.
Yeah, I like.
I forgot
both
about
of
it,
them.
honestly.
Well,
I like the
because
Glow one
because
better though.
The reason why you forgot about it is because they didn't run with it long. Because like
Right.
that used to be like the
Shocker.
theme for what was the hell the BAD for Team BAD? That used to be like their theme before they actually switched it to like Naomi was gonna go turn face, and then they made the Glow theme, and then she ran with that. But it was like only like maybe 6 months, 9 months that she got to rock with that
Right.
before they changed it. And I was like, wow, this is actually kind of a banger.
Yeah,
Why
I
are we
like
going
it.
with this?
Before we get into Dre's question, I want to bring up or I guess an honorable mention of theme songs that are like unconventional, like Vicky Guerrero's "Excuse Me" or like "Sheesh." Like they really made that's really their entrance. Like I remember,
Shush,
like
please. I was like,
you
yo,
know,
wait.
right? Like I can't believe that's like the song, or like the
Mhm.
people you guys brought up, Enzo and Kaz,
Yeah.
or just like the one that participation aspect of it.
Kurt
I think that's
Angle.
really important.
Oh my god, no.
Kurt
As a kid,
Angle, what is
you have
that
to
music without the
understand.
guitar?
Yeah,
As
it's
a
like,
kid in elementary school, the boys used to literally come in and be like, you suck. Like they at one, it was like, you don't forget Kurt Angle's theme song as a youth. So when I saw that clip of all the black wrestlers like doing the crisscross to that, like
That
doing the
was
hip
so
hop,
good,
I was like, yo,
yo.
why is this
That
all
beat
my
hits.
cousin's friends in the schoolyard? This shit is weird.
That shit fucking hits.
It hit different. Sorry,
Sexual
Justin. Sorry,
Chocolate.
Brian, but it does.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
We talk about themes that change.
I mean, y'all said unconventional. Why did I immediately think of Right to Censor, the damn sirens?
Yes, like shit like that. That made you hate them even more because just like,
Yes.
yo,
And it fits so
really?
perfect because it's just like, fuck. Here
Wait,
comes
oh my
Stevie
God,
Richards.
who's theme song was the Nails on the Chalkboard? The ECW guy. Whose theme song was that?
Oh, I can't even remember.
Nails on the Chalkboard?
Yes, I think it was. Fuck. Yo, somebody help me! But their theme song, I think they were like the
doesn't come in my
professor
head.
or something. That was their like gimmick, and their music was Dead Nails on a Chalkboard.
Or Matt Striker. It was Matt. Is it Matt Striker? I think so.
I think it was.
Because he had a teacher gimmick. He had a teacher gimmick there. Wasn't his teacher?
I don't remember, but he was like and it was like no, I don't remember, but that was one that was just like I can't even fucking hear that shit. Yeah, that was so good.
It did because it made you fucking detest them. What that was the whole point of Right to Censor was.
I hated them because I didn't realize how much I missed the hose, and it was like Right to Censor's fault. Yo, that they're not around no more.
It pissed me off with that, and then it made me when they had Ivory. I was like, "What is happening?" But it was a smart gimmick. At the time where it fit because they were in the attitude. It was the attitude era.
Exactly.
I was mad when China didn't beat her at Royal Rumble.
I was pissed.
So mad.
I was pissed, and I was pissed about the lead. I was pissed about that leader match. Like, if you want to get heat on a wrestler, that whole situation made me mad. And they kept interfering. I was like, yo, when they took away what's his name joined the Right Censor, when Val Venus joined Right Censor, I was like, ah, shit. Like that, I was like, wow.
It was a wrap.
Question: how do we feel about the Raw and SmackDown theme songs?
Yeah, they there.
I feel like that's more for, to be honest with you, like I
really?
feel that's for kids. No, I feel like that's more for kids because you know how certain like the entrances of like all the shows like were instantly brought back. So like 10 years from now, they're gonna remember those songs. Like it's really not for us. Even though at one point Raw had this banger
that played.
I remember that shit was good.
That one that slaps for me.
Or the one, everybody get on your feet. That one when from the Attitude Era.
I don't remember that one.
I played the song.
You gotta play it, but the one where it was like play that music, the one that hard, yo, that hit.
That's what it is.
Seindole, I think the reason why I don't pay attention is because they change them so fucking frequently.
No, they had that one for a while.
Like for example, like the AC/DC one that they have for SmackDown. Are you ready? Yeah. That's like the one. That's like the first time I heard one stick for like at least 2 years because they love messing with those damn things.
So it's just like,
can we stick with one for like 18 months, or are we just going to change it again?
But the one that Black Thoughts is talking about, that Beautiful People one hits different,
banger.
And the Raw that the Pete's talking about, that the one that was on Forcible Entry. Now get the guns. That one hits. Yeah. After that, it goes to shit because I'm like, who remembers this? Like Nickelback writing the Raw theme song. I was like, who you think I am gonna listen to this? I'm not going to listen to that.
You know what? When it comes to you, you realize they wasn't as bad when somebody puts together like those mashups and they do like all the Raw theme music, and then you be like, you know what? Like 2010 wasn't that bad. It was all right. But like you said, Pete, it takes you to the point, and it's more for the kids because it's like they're the ones sitting there waiting for wrestling to come on before they go to bed. They're the ones got the TV on, and then they waiting, and Raw comes on, they go crazy. Where we like, all right, wrestling on, all right, we sit down and watch.
Yeah, like we get situated.
We're like, okay,
let me go.
Next. Let's get
a drink. Let me go grab some food real quick. All right, so the thing's playing. That means I got like 90 seconds.
You know, it's with Kurt Angle. I forgot to circle back to this, but his TNA theme song was not that bad. His TNA theme song was actually pretty.
I got one for Dre. Goldberg, when they briefly made it to this like rock beat song in WCW, and I remember my boy was like, "Yo, I thought they lost the tape. That's why they stopped playing the Invasion theme music and played that one." Yeah, if you go back and look at like around 99 after he wasn't champion no more, he had some other type of music. It was horrible.
So Dre, I already said mine, which was the Shawn Michaels "Sexy Boy."
That was the
Sherry thing. It's not the same, but
it's not the same, but it ain't bad.
Because people get so excited about it now, and I'm like, Like it don't hit the same way as it used to. Like it don't hit the same way that it don't. Not to me. I feel like I'm one of those oddballs that's just like people get so excited to hear, and I'm like, nah.
I
Like
got
even
one.
when he came back for like his
and they theme was good until they added rap lyrics. That's usually the case. I have the biggest mic drop. I have the biggest mic drop of theme songs that destroyed a wrestler.
Which one?
What is it?
Keith Lee.
Oh, I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight when they didn't use his NXT.
How do you fumble that? How do you fumble that?
The whole internet wanted to fight after they did not use his NXT one, because when I tell you at Takeover, the crowd, when that theme song came on, when I tell you same way on your feet type energy, like you just knew people knew cues, and then they didn't use it. I was like pissed. I was like, why would you do that?
I got a question for y'all.
Good.
Can good theme music make Karrion Kross?
No.
Yo, he has the
His theme is not bad.
His theme's not bad. Exactly. Justin puts it on the money. His theme is not bad.
The lights off. He gets candles. He has Scarlet. It's him.
Maybe he needs something that's gonna hit a little bit harder.
No, his theme song is fine. Like that. His theme song is fine. It's him. I'm sorry. Like there's like the same energy. Like remember, okay, so we talk about Goldust, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about Goldust, right? Like with Terry or with Terry, without Terry, it's always worked. He's like Goldust was one of those that was given that, and when he had Marlene, well, is Marlena, right? When when he had her. It was the essence of it. He made the essence of it, right? And then when he didn't have her, the essence was still there. Karrion Kross is literally given the most creative theme song with his valet, and it's still not there. It's him. You have to have essence with your theme music. Like imagine if Bianca Belair just came and just swayed her hips when it came to her theme song. She comes out there skipping with the ponytail in her hand. Why? Because it's essence. It's her enthusiasm. It's him. I'm sorry. And I hate to be on character because I think he's a great talent. But like the same thing I said about,
and it might just be what Black Thought said, like that Adam Cole promo, like that was.
You know what it is, P? It's the same problem that Bray Wyatt has. The bell rings and you have to have a match. And that's not your strong suit. Where it's like, oh, fuck, I actually got to wrestle now. It's like, yeah.
Bray Wyatt? Oh, my God.
Bray is a great promo. Bray has great entrances. Bray has great characters. But then a bell rings and you got to wrestle a match. And then when's the last time you said, like, yo, that was a great Bray Wyatt match? That's not his strong suit. And the problem is,
though, and that's what's unfortunate.
But the problem is like, we have the network. It's like, yeah, I'm not pulling up the network to go watch entrances or go watch promos or go watch character work. I want to go watch a match. And Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt is kind of the same bucket. Same with Bobby Roode. It's like, I'm not going back to watch none of y'all matches.
Wrestling, though, like in a way, is like you're not looking in the network for entrances and all those things, but there are a lot of people that are. Where it's like, yo, like I just care about the present. Like I'm one, like if I rewatch something, I have to watch the entrance. I can't just like I have to see the entire buildup of that.
But think about it this way: he did not have this problem when he first started, because when he came out with the lantern and it's like we're here, and then everything hits dark, and then remember when he had it performed live? How much
the whole world,
right? Like it worked in the past. I don't know whether it's not because I feel like because it's not, and I have to agree, it can't be him. It's people messing with his creativity. Leave him alone. Let him cook by himself. Yeah, like, don't come in there and add salt to his dish. They don't let him do
86
that.
The entrances. I'm saying no. We definitely watch the entrances, but then like I'm not watching something just for the entrances and then that's it. And then when the entrances is done, like all right, I'm moving on to something else. Like no, let's watch the match then.
Totally. And it sucks because to be a successful wrestler, unfortunately, it's the package. I have to enjoy how you present yourself, as well as when the bell rings, what we see. And there's a lot of people, especially the thing, us growing up in the Attitude Era, for me, a lot of the times, like the match was literally the afterthought. It was all about presentation. That's why I wore my Undertaker shirt, because like I don't remember Undertaker's matches when I was a kid. I remember the entrance. I remember the gong. I remember the lights going black. I remember like that whole thing, the whole presentation of that. And I think that's what makes why I wanted to do this episode, was because it represents so many different things. Like we're talking about people. Keith Lee. Literally, they changed his music, and no one felt the same about him since. Like that's how important it is. Then on the other scale, we have Karrion Kross, who has a great theme song, a great presentation, and we could care less about him.
Another person that's in the Keith Lee realm is Johnny Gargano, because people love Rebel Heart, and then when they change Rebel Heart, people are like, "What the fuck is this? Why? Why did you do this? We love this song. Why did you like?
What the fuck is that?
Let us tamper. Let us tamper. Like, who the fuck asked you to do this? Unless the licensing was up, then that's behind the scenes shit, which I didn't get. But at the same time, it's like, who asked you to do this? Vince.
Well, okay, so damn, never mind. I'm not gonna argue with you on that because you got a point. I'm gonna just leave it alone because it's like garbage. And it's not even his fault. But it's not basura, but it's not his fault. That's his thing. Like, okay, so I had this conversation. I think P was there for that conversation. We talk about, like, for example, outside of wrestling things, right? Doja Cat. I first love first edition Doja Cat. I think per Doja Cat. I think I'm a Doja Cat. I think bitch I'm a cow moo Doja Cat is the best. This Doja Cat, I'm not a fan of this Doja Cat. Like, Doja Cat got maybe 2 hits from her album, her real studio album that I enjoy, and then everything to me is trash on that album. But it's not Doja Cat's fault. You get what I'm saying? Like, somewhere in there, there's somebody tweaking and messing with stuff, and it's out of their control, which is why I feel about the whole Keith Lee situation. Like, maybe he was like, all right, well, am I going to go with everything that I got? And they're like, well, no, because this crowd's a lot bigger and we need the music to actually like translate. So we're just going to play around and change it. But like, if it ain't cooked, don't overcook it. And I feel like that's what they did. But I'm not going to sit there and blame Keith Lee for that, because I still think Keith Lee's a really good wrestler. I feel like that's one of his things that didn't affect his wrestling ability. Karrion Kross, something's missing with you, and it's not in your music, and it's not in your hot girlfriend come with you to the ring. It's you. That's my point.
No, I completely. Oh yeah, Black Thoughts. Like I totally agree with you. I want to also just take a second to just talk about what the wrestler brings to a theme song as well. So we like talked about like Bobby Roode's like that turn, like that makes it. We even talked about Black Thoughts mentioned like Val Venus would be nothing without his theme music and like his whole entrance and like presentation. So like in recent time, I can't help but think about LA Knight and how he comes out. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but he like points when they say like LA Night, and like that those like little things like really make all the difference, because it's
right. Right, like Britt Baker doing this when they say her name.
Oh, I can't help it. I can't help it.
And does anybody notice, like with Jamie Hayter, right? And I felt like the only person that noticed it was me, because when we were at the pay-per-view, there's a certain point in her song where she builds herself up to come to the ring and she shimmies. Even that, like, and I've watched her do it every single time. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You have to match your energy with your theme song, and she does it every single time. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for. Like, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, honey.
Let's see what Dre said. Del Rio. He definitely not lying, because Ricardo Rodriguez was his part of his entrance, and it made the gimmick. Like Alberto Del Rio was, a Mexican aristocrat. So
them different cars,
the scarves, and everything, the whole package. And then you got Ricardo, doing the rolling of the tongue when he's bringing him out. But after you took that away, he wasn't the same. He was just another baby face that was bland, honestly.
I mean, when you're talking about wrestlers that add to their theme, what comes immediately to mind is Shinsuke Nakamura, because he has not just a banger theme, but he has a distinct dance and like vibe that he comes with the music. So not only are you singing along to the music and the violins, but you're also doing the hands gestures, you're doing the dance, you're doing the movements with Shinsuke, and no one else does that shit.
I wanna
Real quick, I'm sorry to cut you, P, but think of how like Oscar comes out. Think of every single time
yeah,
Oscar comes out. Like Oscar's kind of like her theme song gives me like kind of like a subtle mystery. So when she first started coming out with like the mask and dancing and giving you like it's a
really.
subtle mystery. That
Mhm.
type of stuff. Like imagine if she just walks out. Like
Mhm.
she's still giving you animation. I feel like when you lose that or you don't have that, like you can get in the ring and throw me a squash match, but I'm still gonna remember your theme music.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know?
I want to choose violence for a second, real quick.
Choose it.
Who has the best theme song out of the Four Horsewomen?
Oh, come on. Y'all go first. I don't.
And
I want
I'm
peace.
when I
I want
think
peace.
of Bailey, I'm thinking of Hugger Bailey because I feel like that's just like classic. Although I do like her new music, but I think that's just classic, the whole thing.
So I
Sasha Banks.
always go 1A, 1B, 1C, and then Bailey's is like a
That's
distant
not
four.
fair.
That's not fair, Justin. She
You
said
gotta
one.
choose
All right.
one.
You
If
gotta
I'm
choose
forced to choose
one.
one, then I gotta stick with what I already said earlier, which is OG Sky's the limit.
Mm, okay, valid, valid.
I still think Charlotte Flair. Just
Mm.
because it's
It's
matching. Like
good.
I
It's
said,
very
if we're
classic.
gonna give essence, it matches personality and it matches her and it matches entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Sasha just because I feel like that's a theme song that you can sing at the end of the night with the confetti going down and her
Mm.
standing there holding the title and fans walking out celebrating her singing her song.
Okay, I'm not choosing my favorite, so um,
Why do you
we
always do
How
that,
you do
bro?
this? You choose violence, but you like, nope.
How you
I'm gonna
push
step away
somebody
from the
into the
blast
crowd and
zone. You
start a
can't do
fight and then
that.
just walk away? Come on,
Can
sis.
we give props to the artists though over the years?
yeah, let's do it.
Yes,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
We got Jimmy Hart for way back in the day. Um, you
Hmm.
know, um, and
Y'all
then
forgive
And a
obviously
me.
lot of people don't remember Jimmy Hart actually did people's theme song. You think
a
Hart
lot of
Foundation, that's
mm,
Jimmy Hart, for example.
Y'all forgive me for not knowing that CFO was white. Please.
I didn't even know who CFO was. I just always hear about them. I could not pick them out, so I'm glad that I have this visual.
yeah, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's shout out to Jimmy Hart. Also, he did a lot of WCW themes over there. Jim Johnston for obvious reasons. I mean, I believe he could come back now and still make bangers. I just feel like he
Thousand
just
percent. 1,000%.
understood wrestling. I saw a video
Yeah.
of him like putting together the Undertaker's music. I thought it was one of the greatest things. CFOs, I don't know what's the whole deal with them in WWE. It sucks because it's like it kind of had to like get rid of like a lot of the music. But shout out to Def Rebel
Hmm.
for stepping in, and I feel like Def Rebel, they kind of picked up where they left off, and that's a hard spot to coming after CFOs who gave us
Right.
music that we like, and which with them it was hard because they was coming after Jim Johnson, who was like just this iconic legend who really produced a lot of the themes of our the soundtracks of our childhood.
Yeah. I wonder what happened with them too. Like, yeah, I felt like maybe it was like a crap end of the deal type thing. But like you
Mm.
said, like they definitely stepped up. Like I put in the comments, like Jim Johnson, though, he walked so a lot of them could have that open creativity. And I understand where it came in because they had to look for something fresh. Like John couldn't do it, Jim couldn't do it forever, right? They had to
Mm-hmm.
look for something fresh to go with the times. WWE was changing. So even the you said the guys that did Miz's theme song, and I completely forgot Downstat.
Down
Even
street.
when they were holding it down too, I had to give
Mm-hmm.
them their flowers too because that's a tough spot to be in. Like you're trying to adapt to this new era, and people are also used to nostalgia. So it's a lot on one plate to serve. You know what I mean?
So a lot of that comes down to music licensing, royalties, who has
Right.
ownership. Like we just talked about this with Jeff Hardy and No More Words. Like, does Endeavor After own the song, the masters to the songs? Does WWE own the masters to the songs? Who owns it? And then depending on who owns it, you can license it about like who uses it. Like for example, Living Color owns Cult of Personality, so
Mm.
WWE has to work out a deal if they want to use it, just like AEW has to work out a deal with them if they want to use it and stuff like that. Or there's some where like the actual companies own it, and I think that's where the red tape with CFOs comes in handy, where it's like it's a lot of behind the stuff, paperwork stuff, where it's like that you see that they're moving away with CFO themes, where it's like even like Charlotte, for example, that's a banger theme, that's an OG theme that loves that. But you see, even then, they're like, all right, we gotta switch this up, and that's where you see Def Rebel coming in. It was like that's why Bailey got new music, that's why Charlotte got new music, that's why Dakota's got different music, that's why Keith Lee got different music, because you see like we gotta get away from this group and go to this new group because we're working with them and not them no more.
Right.
Right. That's so true. But I do love like getting into these because I still feel like there's an underbelly of wrestling theme songs that we haven't gotten into. I want to ask quick rapid fire questions to you guys. So whoever answers, like that's it. But what's the best wrestling theme song that defines the Ruthless Aggression era?
Ooh, Ruthless Aggression.
Evolution.
Your
That would
favorite?
be Evolution.
Evolution.
What you think, Seindole?
Yeah. Come back to me. Pass. Damn. I'm stuck. No, to me, okay, no, it would actually be if we're gonna go into the Ruthless Aggression era, it would be the SmackDown theme song. In my opinion, like it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like it's displaying with like that hard rock.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's what they wanted. They wanted it to come. They wanted in your face right out the gate, boom. And that's what that theme song did for me when it came on Thursday nights, and I knew like that's when it was time to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
So if you're talking that's the criteria, then Black Thought.
But think about who was holding SmackDown down at the time. Is when we got Brock Lesnar. It was him? We got John Cena. Between that and Batista, but Batista was Raw, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And then he went to SmackDown, kind of after.
Right. Those are the theme songs that I think about. Is it would be between SmackDown and Brock Lesnar's theme song that I think of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Okay. What wrestling theme song defines the 80s?
He shall not be named because it has
Hulk
to.
Hogan.
It has to.
We put Terry in a box. I'm never gonna say that.
How is it
name,
not?
so
Fucking,
thank you.
I don't know Terry.
As much as we hate him, everyone knew that fucking song. Like it has.
Thank
to be,
you, friend.
It has to.
Jesus. No, I gotta admit, like it's hard for me not to pop when I hear his music. I'm not even gonna.
It's difficult because it's synopsis with that era.
For that, I'm sorry.
And what Dre mentioned, I think earlier, Ultimate Warrior.
I love Warriors theme. I love Macho Man's theme. I'm a huge fan of Heart Foundation's theme. But if there's one song to define that, it has to be him.
It
has to.
Okay.
Now, if we talk in 90s, that's a different story because that's harder.
I want to hear. Okay, what theme song defines WCW Nitro era?
NWO. Hollywood NWO.
It has to.
Hollywood NWO. And I say Hollywood because that's when we started getting a little bit of, but it will be that.
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one that had the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And plus, they played it like 4 or 5 times throughout the show.
You know what?
The best thing right? Because I had to as well.
When I had the WWE Network and I was watching old episodes of Nitro, I'm like, damn, you see them almost every hour of the show.
Shout out to 5 Alarm Music, Rock House.
Yes. Oh, wow. You really do see them like every hour of the show, and I'm like, what?
Okay, I have another question. What wrestling theme song defines the women's evolution? I would say
Ronda
the
Rousey's
song of
hell no.
Yes.
We brought it up before, like her having.
I know we put her in a box, but come on.
As I said, Bad Reputation.
Yeah, honestly, Black Thoughts
Quarter Man.
The women's evolution, that's harder because then you're throwing the Bellas in the mix, you're throwing Paige in the mix, you're throwing Sasha in the mix, you're throwing Charlotte in the mix, you're throwing Becky in the mix because that's all like that time. Ronda comes later. That's why I'm not putting Ronda in there. Ronda's later won the women's revolution. And Evolution's already established. And then
Not
Ronda
Brian
comes
Exploiter is
in.
raising his hand.
Nah, got
Yes.
breaking news.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
What's
um, superstar Billy Graham has transitioned. A former
Oh,
WWE champion, he beat Bruno Sammartino back in the day. So we want to give our condolences out to him, the great superstar Billy Graham. Ric Flair just tweeted that he's left us.
Oh.
Who? Ric Flair?
Yeah, Ric Flair tweeted it.
Oh.
What was his theme song?
Who?
Did Billy Graham have a theme?
That's why you can only have it in the club.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the
sorry,
car.
like,
Forget the
I-
wheel. Take the car.
Sorry, sir.
Serious,
Sorry.
I like finding humor in things.
Prayers,
Like,
love,
that was
thoughts. So
bad,
what was his
but
name again?
Sorrows, prayers.
I love how you kept it on topic, yo.
Yeah, that's
But
me too.
this was a car flying by you, it'd have flown by you. It was like,
I love you. I love you, Siendo. We're gonna pray for you.
What?
I don't see what's wrong. What she did was wrong.
Yeah, no, seriously, rest in peace. Superstar Billy Graham. My dad was a fan. My grandma.
Yeah, they
my
didn't have theme songs.
They didn't have theme songs?
That's why I asked.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's so interesting.
Shout out
Just kick me
to
out the club. I
It's
can't.
not a bad
Yes.
question. You just could have taken like 1 or 10 beats before we drop question. Let it marinate for a sec.
I'm gonna kick
PSAs
myself out
and,
the club in a second.
the Fabulous
'cause-
Freebirds. They introduced theme songs to wrestling back in the days when they was beefing with the Von Erichs. And then, look at it now. Like, if you go back, look at WrestleMania 1. It's only like Hogan, Savage. No, I don't even think Savage came out with theme music. Not everybody had theme music.
That's true.
Black,
so
thank
true.
you for sticking up for me, because
I
clearly,
can't even like you mentioned Royal Rumble without the theme song.
right,
Like,
it's different.
that sounds wild to me. Like,
Well,
that's like one of the best parts.
But it also, like, when you think back to those times, because that's like my generation when we're watching that, like, it also built the anticipation of like who's coming out, and that's where like no music means all your focus is on the entranceway, because now you really don't know who's coming out until they come through the curtain. But when they actually started adding the wrestlers' theme music to the entrances, then I think that was like a great decision. But back then it made sense, because now it's like all your attention's like, all right, who's actually coming out? Let's actually look to the entranceway. Oh shit, that's Ric Flair. Fuck, he's coming out at 3. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And that would add to the anticipation of like, you gotta pay attention to the entranceway.
Oh, sorry.
That's so
Trying to copy
true.
and paste.
All right. Well, one more question. What is the most underrated wrestling theme of all time?
Of all time.
On my list, Mr. Perfect. Or Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Oh, here we go. Actually, when it came up, who's nothing without their theme music, I was actually gonna say Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Like,
okay.
All
right.
take away that.
I had my hand on the kicked out the club button.
But in all seriousness,
yourself.
like in all seriousness, if you take away his theme music, you can't rock with the hedge clippers. It just doesn't make any sense. And like, let's be real, everybody was putting people to sleep. Like, the sleeper hole wasn't nothing special, but it was the theme music and the whole that made the gimmick. I definitely like Run DMC. I'm surprised it took us that long to get to that theme.
For me, it's not a wrestler's theme. It's an actual pay-per-view theme that I have synopsis for Royal Rumble. If you go back to like the 92 Royal Rumble, that theme music that just plays while Vince McMahon's saying everyone's Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Superstar, and there's this music that plays that's very synopsis that they only use for like the Royal Rumble for like specific years. That anytime the Royal Rumble comes out, I have to play this theme song, because that's how I get hyped for the Royal Rumble, and it takes me back to this time where Vince is just naming everyone's names out, and you're just getting hyped right before the pay-per-view starts. So that will be like mine. It's not a specific wrestler, but it's that Royal Rumble thing. If you YouTube it, it's the 91-92 one.
Yeah, I used that for when we did our draft picks on Worldwide a couple weeks ago.
It's such a banger. It's one of those like, I wish y'all could just play this every fucking Rumble.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like an adrenaline shot of like, fuck a energy drink. Play that for 2 minutes. It's like I'm ready for a rumble. Let's go.
I have to
That-
agree with Justin. I feel like for me, it's not a wrestler's theme song, but I feel like the way "My Way" by Limp Bizkit was used is the most iconic theme song of all
that's my
time.
childhood
Like
right there.
you don't
bro.
understand, like Limp Bizkit, and so like again, another thing that got me in trouble as a child because I played Nookie really loud one time. My parents were like, "What are you listening to?" But "My Way" was just one of those songs that was just like, "Yo, this is perfect."
The video package was everything.
They don't do video packages like that no more. Why?
Oh, it's
Like,
coming. Oh, it's coming.
like manifesting.
Old
That's
This
my
school,
bloodline.
goal.
always
If I ever
like,
had a
we
goal
was
to work in
looking
WWE,
when
it'd
we
be
was
that, like
together.
manifesting, like Justin does, manifesting.
Do
We're
it, do
manifesting.
it.
We're manifesting because, like, come on, like I would die to just sit there all day and make packages. Pass me some Liquid Death and some Red Bull, and you got me. Because, like, come on, like. I grew up falling in love with getting pay-per-views or watching the beginning of pay-per-views just based off of those montages, and they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
But Limp
love it.
Bizkit was perfect.
Someone mentioned earlier
Another good
in the
one was
chat
Nas
about
"Hate Me Now" for
Undertaker.
the Miz.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a good one. Or Undertaker's American Badass. I don't think we brought that up. That was good. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now I definitely appreciate it
We're
more
about to
because it
have a
got the
part
whole.
2 for this.
Yo,
We
when
got
they used the opera song. They used, I think it was Symphony Number 9. I gotta find out who used that as a theme song.
Even
It's
the
like number
more
9 in E minor, in E minor. I have to remember who used that.
Like
even
Darius
for
Carter's
me,
theme
like
music.
I
a
think
recent
so.
one that I think of is Demi Lovato's "Confident" that they used for Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky's package for WrestleMania 32.
That was good too. That was a great package. Like how they had them typing in, and then they matched the words of the song with their personalities. Like they literally had Demi Lovato says, "It's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now," and Sasha was first. I was like, "That's perfect. Like, perfect."
Seriously. But I really love being able to kind of like go back and talk about, wrestling theme songs. I think you can't really talk about wrestling or your favorite wrestler or any aspect of that without talking about the theme song or the entrance or the presentation of it all. So there definitely needs to be a part 2 for sure. So we do have a tentative schedule for the following fan clubs. So Dana Brooke has been getting a lot of attention, especially in the Those Wrestling Girls universe. We do have a spotlight episode on her, and we have a lot of Dana Brooke fans in our community. And we streamed her spotlight episode for TWG Classic on Sunday, and it got a lot of traction. But that was our first spotlight episode recorded back in 2019. So we were like, wait, a lot has happened since then. And it's literally like the same thing. Like, we're like, when is she going to get the opportunity? So we're actually going to do a loose Dana Brooks part 2 spotlight next week for fan club. So call all your Dana Brooke fans, all the people that, if you feel any type of way about Dana Brooke and what she's done in WWE and what she's capable of, join us in fan club next week. Of course, we'll get into some of the things that are happening in Raw, SmackDown, and all of that. But we'll be talking about Dana Brooke. The week after will be the day after Dark Side of the Ring premiere. So we are going to do an unpopular opinions episode on Dark Side of the Ring to end May. So that is going to be very, very exciting. So that is going to be the tentative schedule for the next 2 fan clubs. We're always open to topics that you guys want to talk about. So just use the hashtag TWG fan club. Tag us in things that you think we should talk about, and we'll definitely get into it, because this is our weekly wrestling fan club where we all just kind of just talk about memories and all of our opinions, and we have disagreements, but it's always a fun conversation. So we hope you can join us. So before we head out, we do have a spotlight, a women's wrestling spotlight. And Brian, do you wanna introduce our spotlight this week?
Sure. Celebrating 200 days as the OVW Women's Champion, the one, the only Miss Shalonce
Oh my God, so dope.
Royale. So shout
So
out to
dope.
her doing her thing over at Ohio Valley Wrestling. We featured her on we featured all the black women that are champions, and she's another, she's continued to stand out and hold the goal. And you may know she has some vocals. She did do for All In, she sang I believe she sang the entrance. I mean the national anthem, but I do know she will utilize that in her gimmick. Shout out to her and Amber Rodriguez put on quite a few matches, and there was a lot of vocals and singing in the match. So shout out to her. Huge congratulations to her.
Yes, we love our
Salute.
black queens in wrestling. We love when they're holding championship gold and making history, record-breaking history, and holding it 200 days is not easy. And she's done it with class, and she's been on social media really enhancing her image with everything. And that's just shit that we love to see. So congratulations to you. And we're glad that we're able to give you a spotlight. If there are any women in the wrestling industry, whether they are wrestlers, referees, we shouted out Issa, who's a wrestling media personality last week. We want to give them their flowers in the fan club. We want to definitely put a spotlight on them and also introduce people, because I know, Justin, you like learning about new wrestlers. So this is a chance for all of us to kind of discover new people. So we love that. And that's really what fan club is all about. I do want to thank my crew, of course. Brian H. Waters, producer extraordinaire, Seindole,
Wow, you went to that name.
Justin. I love doing this with you guys every Wednesday. Our VIP, Black Thoughts, Dre, Rakarsha, Dylan, Krista B, thank you for joining us. I love you.
The most lit VIP section out
It
here.
really is. And invite your friends to the club. If you got people that love wrestling that want something to do on a Wednesday night, tell them to come into the fan club. We love to have you. We love talking about wrestling. Again, you guys sort of dictate what the show's about. Tweet us, tag us in things, hashtag TWG fan club. We will talk about it. And that's one thing that we love about what we do. We do have playbacks on YouTube every week, so you can always go back and check out past fan club episodes. We've covered Total Divas. We've done, what other ones have we done? We've done so many topics.
Celebrities in pro wrestling.
Celebrities in pro wrestling. Impact. We did a spotlight on the Knockouts division in Impact.
We talked about New Japan Pro Wrestling and Mercedes debut and the Women of Stardom.
Yeah, we literally we get into a little bit of everything, and we all learn. We all get to kind of share, what we love about wrestling, and I love doing this every single Wednesday on Twitch, 7 p.m. Eastern. So, where can everyone find you guys?
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights on Twitch for TWG Fan Club with these three beautiful, amazing co-hosts of mine that are just incredibly awesome in so many ways. You could catch me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces, for Turnbuckle Talk with Mimi and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling around 6:35 p.m. You can catch me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. We here, we outside, we active. Mercedes Monet wrestles this weekend, Sunday to be specific.
Ooh, we will get into it.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. You can find me on Masked Man on Mondays, producing for Dave and Kaz. On Wednesdays, Wednesday Worldwide. Today we discussed Seth Rollins, because apparently there's reports that WWE's not going to give him a title run because he's doing the new Captain America gimmick. But I call bogus. And then check me out tonight on the Wrestling Around Now podcast. We're going to talk about some of the most disrespectful moments on the heels of Roman Reigns just being absolutely disrespectful to his cousins, Jimmy, especially Jimmy and Jay. So we're going to talk about that and the most disrespectful moments, some of our favorite disrespectful moments in pro wrestling. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Brian H. Waters. And the Ring of Wrestling has a TikTok at Ring of Wrestling. So make sure y'all follow that.
I love that. I love that.
And of course, per usual, it is your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. You can catch me on all my platforms at reload.relive. You can catch me talking a whole bunch of shit on Twitter at reload via film because y'all know I love to talk my shit. Also, if you have not heard, last week I said this Friday I will be finally dropping the Palm Spring vlog. So you guys can see all the deserty, mountainy things that I did while I was out there. And I also drop a little surprise hint in that video. So be sure to watch me on YouTube at reload.relive. And of course, per usual, you can watch me. If you see me with a camera, if you see me in Spielberg outside, you already know next Memorial Day weekend, we have 2 pay-per-views coming up. So me and him, we going to be outside. Like Justin say, we here, we live, watch for the camera. And of course, every Wednesday, you can watch me on Those Wrestling Girls Fan Club with the 3 bestest friends that anybody can have, because we have a good time. Our VIP section be lit. With tomorrow, watch me on Thirsty Thursdays with the rest of the crew, with KRISTA B, with Chris, popping those bottles, talking that shit with our special guests. And I love to see all your beautiful faces come back to the club. So bring your friends this time. Love you guys.
Yeah.
And per usual, as always,
actually,
Patricia,
I think I'm giving everyone
for bringing
homework.
this up.
Oh, of course. And the homework that everybody has is to bring a Dana Brooke moment, number 1. And number 2, you have to bring a friend with you. If you don't bring a friend with you to the club, you have to at least hashtag us TWG fan club with a topic or something, because that's what this is all about. That's how the fan club grows. Word of
tag
mouth.
3 friends.
No. Yes. Thank you. See, Brian's good for something. Yes, do that.
I'm gonna bring my picture with Dana Brooke.
You have a picture
so
with Dana Brooke?
Yeah.
What?
WrestleMania 33 weekend. When I told her like she was one of my favorites,
she's been around a
gave me
long
big
time.
hug.
And yes, Vaughn, a Dana Brooke moment. Yes. But again, I can't with y'all. You can catch me and KRISTA B and Seindole and Phil from Grapsity on Thirsty Thursday tomorrow. We are streaming everywhere at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bring your drink of any kind, and we are celebrating life. We are talking about wrestling. We have some special guests coming up, so that is always a good time. So make sure you're there. Check out our Carmella Spotlight. Check out our Carmella episode if you haven't already. It is on YouTube and everywhere you get your favorite podcast. Our next live episode is May 27th. Sunday for TWG Classic, we are streaming our Lunger Blaze Spotlight and exclusive.
I love that spotlight.
First ever Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame. So make sure you check that out on Twitch. Every Sunday at noon, you can find a TWG Classic episode streaming. So if you're like cleaning your house, you're doing laundry, you're on a drive, pull up our Twitch and it'll definitely be a good time. We are not going to do any slander for any women's wrestler in the fan club. So if you don't have anything nice to say about Dana Brooke next week, then don't say anything at all. But I am excited to put a spotlight on her.
Get out.
Yes, we have, like we proved today, almost 100 episodes spotlighting women's wrestlers. So if you ever are confused about why we like certain people at all, go check out our episodes. Binge watch. I will find value in any women's wrestler, and that is why Those Wrestling Girls exist and why we love this platform. And I love coming here every Wednesday and chopping it up with you guys. And we will catch you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Twitch. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hello.
Da-da-da.
Wait, I'm gonna do the Trish point. Do the glass shatter real quick. Just kidding.